Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's so good to see everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year tomorrow. Is everybody, who here is tired of 2021? Raise a hand. Like, I am done. I'm done. I'm done with 2021.
I don't know. I don't know. It's been crap, but you know what? This is that true Pluto directly on my midheaven for me. You know, you can find good stuff in the crap. You just gotta look for it, you know?
You can, but I'm done. I'm just not even there. I'm done. Because it's been a year of growth. It has been a year of growth, but it's been, you know, I mean, everybody has different experiences. For mine, this last, 2 or 3 months has been shit. So I'm like, okay, I'm done. You know, I'm just done.
Yes.
But yes. I'm ready to, head into, it's not even about, the change of a calendar, really. It's really just about, the change of mindset, moving forward, just letting it go and going ahead, every day,
well,
whether it's a new year or not new year, right? So.
Absolutely, because as a collective, there's a general consensus of like, okay, new year, let's start fresh. You know, we're all in this space of like, I want to create something different or do something different. Obviously, we all have those well wishes and intentions, at the beginning of the new year, and then things may fade in and out. But I think honestly, we are all just so ready for like, okay, we want ours. We want all of this work that we feel like we've been doing to be returned back, in some way. Yeah. And honestly, what's cool is the 222s, right? 2022, all the twos. And for those that are into numbers and astrology or numerology and things like that, the 222 is a great energy for a lot of different manifestations, relationships, of course, duality, understanding ourselves in a deeper way, in reflection, of others. So I think there's going to be a lot of great energy. And honestly, the biggest thing that I'm really feeling is this Jupiter and Pisces shift. Jupiter is at 0 degrees Pisces now. And oh my gosh, this is one of my favorite times. This is one of my favorite times when Jupiter goes into Pisces, because it's like, the lines of benevolence become blurred and everybody can receive. A lot of what I'm seeing in my clients is the things that are hidden in the background, what you've been programming, in the background or trying to suppress, those lines are going to become blurred and they're going to come right out to the front. So I'm seeing such a variation with people feeling divinely surrendering to like higher faith, or they're feeling powerless. The feeling is the same, but your mentality and the lens you see it through is what gives you that difference. So It's so cool to like work with people in this capacity. And I will say about 12 years ago, when Jupiter went into Pisces, is when I really started working in the spiritual field. And now look where things are. It's crazy. For me, it's a great reflection on the time that I've been through. And Starlene was with me on a huge part of this journey, just giving you big hugs, love.
I find that, it was exactly what you were saying about mindset. Here's the thing is that I really kind of got into this place where things, just seem to happen like one after the next, after the next, after the next. But I'll tell you something. It's been a lot, but at the same degree, and I'm assuming you could probably attest for that, since I've talked, we do chat. I haven't gone into a place of boom. You know what I mean? Like,
I know it's coming for you, Kathy. Like, just connecting with your energy right now. Oh my gosh, like you are in for a year. Like, I don't
I
know
hope
why
a
I
good
just get
year.
this
I don't know the way you
impression.
said that. I'm getting nervous now.
No, I'm getting this impression, and that's like what I said in the very beginning of like,
Mhm.
there's so much work that has been done, and
Yeah.
I'm talking about like energetic work that you've
Oh,
had to do
absolutely.
and been forced to
100%.
do. And
Yeah.
everybody probably in the show knows Kathy and I communicate outside of the show and stuff, and I know and I've felt all of this internal work that she has had to do. And it's just, I get, you have this crazy amount of planets over in Pisces, and Jupiter is going to kiss every single one of them. And so it feels like um, a roller coaster in that it doesn't dip below the surface anymore. It's like you've got your maintenance, your maintained energy, and all of a sudden there's an up, and then you go back to the regular, and then you get another up, and I just feel lots of like ups for you in this next 6 months. It's
Oh,
going to be
that really makes me,
great.
it's funny because and I think that's kind of what I'm waiting for, if that makes sense.
You
Like,
know, your soul, your spirit knows
yeah,
it. It
like
feels it.
that's exactly it. And it's kind of like that place of, and again, it really doesn't have anything to do with the lunar year particularly, but
Right.
it's that mental phase where it's sort of like setting a goal. Like, let's say you're trying to quit a habit, or maybe for people that diet or smoke or whatever, you set a goal, right? That's all they always say, have a start date. And, for me, what I did is I sort of went, okay, my start date is this, because I need to
Hmm.
have something that is going to be tangible. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm sitting there and I wake up in the morning and go, oh, I have to wait till the first to be happy. No, it's the opposite.
You
It's in
just
fact
know there's an
preparing for it.
instinct.
It's just that mental state, and you start preparing for it, and you're getting yourself ready, and you're doing the things, you're getting the organization needed for what it is that you're planning, all of that. So it's just a different mentality. It's not so much I have to be sad or depressed or boo-hooing or whatever it is up until that point. It's just the preparation. Okay, so I'm gonna, I have a schedule made now. I have this made. I have that made. It's like the planning is what you're doing, and then it puts you into a different mental state. And come that day or come that time, boom, you're very much able to just kind of jump into it, because of the fact that you've already set the goals to do so. And
Absolutely.
yeah, and I mean, personally, for us, in Canada here, it's been sort of a wonky, fantastic type of time that you're just looking forward to different, like, financial goals, personal goals, relationship, whatever it is, like whatever it is that you have planned, you just kind of, you're getting ready for it, I feel like.
Absolutely. Speaking
Mhm.
of plan, can we just give accolades to Kathy with all of her matching those nails with the top and the hair? Oh my gosh, it looks good.
Thank you. Yeah,
I like the matchy match.
yeah, I matched
Complementary,
it.
like and that's a really great word too. I think complementary, complementing things.
Mhm.
I think we're going to see a lot of that in the next year as well. One of my biggest thing with uh, uh, Jupiter and Pisces that I keep hearing is just compassion, like overflowing compassion. And I
Mhm.
think if you're feeling that at any time over this next 6 months, like that's just going to be the right place to be in. Again, if you're feeling like in that sense of powerlessness, there's needs to be a reframing, of the mind, because this really is such a benevolent energy um, for all of us. Really, it really is such a good space for us to manifest, to be in. And that's why it's important to look at, okay, what has been in the back of my mind? What am I like actively manifesting right now? Because it seems to be coming through tenfold. And of course, that's why you guys can work with us. That's why we're here to help give readings. We're here to help align these things for you so that you can work with not only your own soul, not only with astrology, but, the human and the soul's interaction together, and why we help to create that alignment for you guys. So it's just awesome to be
You're so
back.
sweet. You guys are so sweet. Thank you so much. They're giving me compliments, and I couldn't help it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. No, like, I just feel like you said, like, it's there's newness coming.
Hmm. We feel it. It's that breath of air, the breath of newness.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, if you want to continue working with us over just, a 10-minute reading here on air, of course, you can connect with me at thedreamteacher.com. Shoot me a message, hook up an appointment if you're ready to connect. I mean, really, we only need 30 minutes to really get to the root of something, but I can guarantee you that we're going to go overtime. So set up an hour appointment because you're going to want it. It's easy for us to talk. So thedreamteacher.com, of course, for me.
Absolutely. And if you guys want to connect with me, you can contact me through my website, oracleintuitions.com, or through Facebook or Instagram at Oracle Intuitions. I have exciting news. So I have a friend who is a website designer, and I'm so excited because she's going to be working on my website come this new year. So she's amazing, and I can't wait to get it up and going. And it's just like, yeah, she's
That is awesome.
yeah,
That's
she's
super
also a
exciting.
reader too, so it's kind of cool. But very spiritual, type of girl. So she'll know exactly. I don't even have to tell her what I want. She just knows what I want. She's already taken a look at it. So I'm so excited to have that. And so
That is great.
hi Dee, thank you. It's so good to see you.
I'm Melody.
Melody, Sandra, everybody, thank you. So guys,
Esha.
oh, sorry, go ahead. What's up?
Oh, I'm just saying hi to Esha and Love T and Navy and Miguel, of course, and Will. Hi, Will. Work hard, bud. I keep seeing all his fun posts and stuff with all of his extracurriculars and the wrestling. It just looks like every time I see that, his energy just feels like in such good alignment. It's lovely. I love that. I do like connecting. There's a little bit of a balance, right? Because as we continue to interact, we become more friendly. We know each other. You feel me and Kathy know you on a personal level because we really are tapping into your person, right? We kind of become an extension of you at some point. And there's a little bit of a balance that I feel like I have to walk. I don't know if I'm not going to speak for you, Kathy, but it's that part of like, I of course want to get involved with people's lives and my clients' lives, but I also want them to know that when I connect with them, I'm not like looking on social media for information, or I'm not, doing anything like that. And so I want to make sure that they know that it's every time, that we've connected, it's valid. I'm connecting fresh. I'm tapping into the energy fresh with also an awareness of things we may have talked about in the past, but I don't bring that into present. So it's a little bit of a balance. So I just want to kind of throw that out there. If we are friends on social media, and I do see your stuff and I do support you from the distance, give you likes or comments or whatever, if we read and work together, it's not coming from a place of knowing any of that. So don't ever think that here.
I'll be honest, I have the mind of a sieve sometimes. So
What?
like I don't retain memory sometimes, like I do, you know what I mean? But it's
Yeah.
like when you're tapping into people, you always, and I know you do the same thing. It's like tapping into fresh energy. It's like, okay, let me
Yes.
just look at what's going on at this point. Half the time I can be really bad sometimes with I've had clients, where they come to me on a yearly basis, maybe.
Right.
And, it's like once a year, and they'll be like, well, you remember last time? I'm like, I have no freaking idea. And they'll be like, well, I recorded us and everything you said, happened in this, da, da, da. And, and it's good. I love to hear that. But I also like to have that, the fresh perspectives, at times, because energy changes. And that's the thing. Sometimes people don't understand is like, and we can actually even change our own energy. So, the one thing I want to say, because I know that with a lot of, let's say, and Starlene can attest to this, and you can and stuff, because we're all on the same, sometimes online readers and stuff like that. We got to remember, I guess, what's the best way to say it? It's like, it doesn't, just because, okay, here's the thing. Let me start over. I'm going to start here. I'm going to get myself all screwed up. When you have a manifestation that you're trying to create, Okay. One of the things I suggest to people, especially if it's something that is extremely important to you, really look for people that are either going to work with you to create the manifestation, or just stay away from them.
Yeah.
Like, that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing is that when we now, I mean, there's going to be some energy. I mean, and we're not accounting for, abusive relationships or things that are, you know, I'm just going to use an example. Some dude is married with like 10 kids and he's incarcerated, and you think that you're the love of his life. You know what? If that's your goal, you go for it, honey. But probably, a good psychic is going to tell you the truth on this one. Okay. Like,
Right.
let's have some realistic expectations here. But if
Well,
you
that's
have,
just it, right? That's
right,
1000% it. We're making something that is intangible real. We're helping you in that process. And so if
exactly.
you've got somebody who is a jagged manifester and going to throw you over here and throw you over there and distract you
Mhm.
from here, yeah, that's how things are going to be absorbed by you. I think what you're saying, correct me if I'm wrong, you need to have somebody who is a good channel for that energy, which is your own. I just went through this with a client because they're like, oh my God, you always do this to me and make me feel so positive. And I'm like, listen, I'm just channeling the energy that's available to you. I'm just that
Exactly.
outside force
Right.
helping you to externalize it for your brain to process and understand, in some way, because you're not ready to fully accept that responsibility of, oh, it's me doing this.
We all get lost in our heads sometimes, and sometimes we
Oh,
just need somebody to like flick on the light switch a little bit. It's kind of like rebooting our brain and sending
yes.
us, back in that direction. And,
Yes.
I've had that happen. I don't even know how many hundreds of freaking times where,
Mhm.
you'll see something, or, you get kind of lost in your own energy, even if
Mhm.
you are a manifester, and you kind of just need somebody to kind of go, okay,
Yes.
and now you're good. We put you back on
Yes.
your path. Off you go. Spank, spank. Go along. Go along. And sometimes that's what you need. But here's the thing, guys. If you're really looking for, you always have to remember, everybody is there. There's going to be people that can see long term. Okay. And when I talk about long term, they're not looking at the current situation as things are right now. And we get that a lot, especially working different uh
Platforms.
platforms, I meant to say, is that, people will go, oh, hey, can you see this happening or whatever? And if you can look long term, and then you can come out with a plan. And we've talked about this before. Sometimes you can see that plan if they listen to what they have to say, and you can see the plan of how things can, start like a puzzle, start forming those pieces. If somebody in a 3-minute chat is like, no, they're horrible, go away, and blah, blah, blah. Okay. But this is something that's deep and dear to you.
Mhm.
Go into yourself and get away from the online psychics, or get away from, the things, whether it's, and again, we're talking realistic expectations, not, you know,
Yes. Well,
not,
I think that's the mark. That's the
that
mark
is
of a
the
good
mark. It's
advisor.
realistic, do you have realistic expectations? And sometimes we have to go into ourselves and say, is this good for me? Is this good for me? Is this
Right.
path good for me? Is this person good for me? And we tend to get, especially when it comes to relationships, men and women, they tend to get lost in relationships because of how somebody made them feel once, or how maybe
Yes.
somebody looks, or whatever it is. But they're not looking at the tangible. Is this a tangible something that I can actually have? Or is this somebody, like I said, with 10 kids, he's incarcerated and has 8 ex-wives? Okay, maybe we need to find something a little bit more realistic,
You know what, though? This is so interesting because what you're saying is triggering something in me about you could be a great psychic, right? And totally detached with reality. One of the most psychic places I went to was what's that word? So it was a nursing home, and it was like the dementia ward
Oh, okay, yeah,
of the nursing home.
yeah.
And God, I even went on a full moon, and it was seriously one of the most psychic environments I had been around. Like, it was so psychic. These
Mhm,
people were like saying things about me which didn't have any base in reality, but I completely felt them and understood them. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like really crazy. But yet at the same time, did it seem like it had any basis in reality as far as it affecting my life that I can see? Maybe not, not really. No, they were just kind of looking at a feeling or an energy, or maybe my energy projected a memory into them in some way. And so I wouldn't know what that meant, to them, because they can't really fully communicate that, because, dementia can really cause that total
mhm.
disconnect with reality. So I want to make a little bit of a distinguishment here. Is like, psychism, it's very much a diluted sense of reality if you were like fully
Mhm.
100% psychic and detached with reality, and there could be value in that. But I think what we offer and what we do is more than just like bringing psychic information. We're making it tangible, we're making it real, and so it's more like psychic advisor and not just psychic words, psychic throw up or vomit,
Absolutely, yeah.
you know
I like what Melody had to say. She says, "I notice when you help someone else achieve what they are trying to manifest, it can help you manifest faster." And
thousand
that's
percent.
actually one of the tricks of manifestation. It's not only that you're helping somebody out, like creating. It's like a creation together. And sometimes, and that's why a lot of times, a lot of creators or manifestors will say, "You don't tell other people of what you're trying to manifest, especially if they're of a negative tone." Now, if you've got a friend who's like rah rah, go for it, and can help you with some of the steps, whether it's a friend, a family member, psychic, whatever it is,
Hmm.
that is absolutely what you want in your corner. The problem is a lot of people, they tend to gravitate, or they tend to sometimes draw in people that are more of the negative tone. And when you're hearing negative things, and that's why I say be very, very careful about when you're choosing psychics, or when you're choosing, you know um manifesting
Whoever
coaches
shares in
or
your
spiritual
energy.
coaches, whatever, yeah, who's ever in your energy. Be careful about what it is that you say. If you know that somebody's probably going to give you a negative, there's a difference between negative and giving positive feedback, or
Yes.
giving you help towards reaching your goal, right? You could say, "Hey, look, I want to do this," and they might go, "Okay, these are the steps. I can't wait to help you out. These are the steps that you got to take." But then there's going to be those people that are be like, "I don't know. That's going to cost so much money. I can't. Why don't you just get a real job? Why don't you go do this? Blah, 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 blah." You know what I mean? Like, so really watch, as to who it is that you're revealing your manifestations to, because your manifestations are not whether the neighbor sees you doing this, or your mom or your dad or your sisters and brothers or best friends. This is about you. This is
Yes.
about you. And only you can create what it is that you want to create.
Yes, absolutely. You gotta be careful with who you invite in.
Yeah,
Keep that nobility, keep that sacredness, for yourself. And especially
absolutely.
in this realm. It's so easy to go and get, a cheap reading somewhere and invite somebody's energy in. And, you might come to find out that something gets skewed or gets weird or whatever. So it's just important that you work with good people. So
And
I
then
know
the
I know
thing is,
all
too, is
people here.
our brains, we pick up, like if somebody says something negative, we can
Mhm.
tend to focus in on that negativity rather than the
Oh
positive.
god, yeah.
Right.
Easily.
And
Yeah.
so, you're going to know yourself, right? If you're one of these people that kind of take something, and, if somebody, says something, and you kind of take it and you can't move past, your triggers. The only thing is you have to accept your triggers. You have to
Mhm.
accept your limitations on what it is that you can and cannot accept, and move forward with that, right? Like you
Absolutely.
can't, and that's a very important factor towards a lot of things, especially when it comes to manifestation. So you guys, as you're moving forward, and you have your dreams or your goals for the next day, the next week, the next month, the next year, really pay attention to what it is that you're talking about within your head, because here's the thing, you're your own best friend.
Yes.
Right? So
Absolutely.
if you're sitting there in
You're
the
the only
background,
person you gotta live with.
right, that's exactly it. And if you're in the background of your own head giving yourself negative feedback, that's no different than really talking to somebody who gives you negative feedback on
Yeah,
a, third party type of person, right? Or however you want to explain that, or however you want to say that. So you're your own best friend. And so
yeah.
be your own cheerleader, right? Be your own cheerleader, be your own cheerleader in your mind, in your head, in your body, in your actions, because that is going to make the difference.
Yes, and this is going to be huge. I think we're talking about this for a very good reason, because this next, 6 months with Jupiter and Pisces, however long this transition lasts, is just, it's going to put everything on blast right away. All
Yeah.
those lines are going to become blurred, and what's been in the mind anywhere, you're going to see it come out now. So, be careful with who you're sharing with, and be careful of your own thoughts too. Really, really, I mean, Kathy can attest that Piscean realm, those lines really can become blurred, and you can be absorbed in thought, worry, happiness, doubt, other people's feel, like all of that can be blurred
Mhm.
into one, and it's like, it's like all the radio stations playing at one time, right? Does that make sense?
That's how what happens sometimes. And you have to box it sometimes. I kind of sometimes laugh with myself because there's this joke, you guys have probably seen it, where a woman's mind is like this whole big array of like and men have these little boxes that they open up and put in different things. And I find that sometimes I have to do that with myself. So I take something and I go, okay, this is the box over here, and this is another box, and this is another, and I start clearing out my own emotions and feelings and thoughts, and whatever, happy, good, bad, whatever it is. But it's like, I'm going
Mhm.
to take this box and put this here, I'm going to put this over here, and then when I need to open it, I can go and I can search around, but I'm not going to intermix this box with these other boxes. So maybe I have a brain of a male, I don't know. I don't know, weird. but that's what I do, because otherwise, if you allow yourself, especially, I do have a lot of Piscean energy, even though I'm an Aquarius,
You
but there's like,
do.
I have like 5 planets in Pisces, right? And so there's a
Yes.
lot of empathic energy that, and if I don't learn to separate it, it can, it can blow up. So I have to take everything and just go, oh, okay, here's my box for this today. And here's my box for this hour. And this is this minute that I'll take a look in that. And I try not to mix the boxes up, because that's just going to combust, right? So
Absolutely.
you
Well,
don't.
with all these planets in Pisces, I'm just gonna call it out right now on the show that everybody can watch all the interesting things that Kathy's about to go through in the next few months. We're gonna
It'll be
see, like, a whole
fun.
new person in, like, 6 months. No, maybe not a whole new person, but you know what
Oh,
I mean.
Essa
It'll
is
be
a Aqua Sun in Pisces. Oh, she's a Pisces rising. I'm Aqua Sun with a Pisces moon.
all I have is North Node in Pisces, but that's in the 1st house. So, that is, in astrology, from what I've come to understand, that's when you have the North Node in the 1st house, you're supposed to become that zodiac sign, during this lifetime, because the 1st house is all about the self and understanding the self. So when you have it in the North Node in the 1st house, you are to be yourself in this lifetime. And so for me, that's in Pisces. So
Cool.
I mean, it's probably weird to see a Taurus doing psychic stuff and psychic readings. I don't think that's a common sign that does give readings, but I've
Mhm.
obviously got something going on here that picks
Something
up on
going
all that.
on.
And I'm following these internal visions and feelings, and I just get affirmed one step after another, with constant validating news that it's like, yep, you're doing the right thing. You're on the right path. So that's
Exactly.
again, that's why we're here, is helping you all see all of that.
So guys, we're just going to take a quick break. We'll be back in 3 minutes. We'll get right into the readings afterwards. We have everybody. I think we have most of your readings in here. Remember, if you do want to donate, just donate. If you did want to get up on the list, um, if you want to be first, or not first, if you wanted to get onto the guaranteed reading list, say that again. You can donate at thedreamteacher@gmail.com through PayPal. If you're in Canada, you can transfer it to crogers5555@gmail.com. That's for e-transfers. I hope that we'll have time for the lottery today. We're going to try, but we'll be back, okay, in about 3 minutes.
If you are on Facebook or I Want to Believe channel and you want a reading, pop on over to Oracle Intuition's YouTube page so that way I can get and receive your question. Otherwise, I won't be able to see it, won't be able to respond or interact. Also, make sure your feed is refreshed up to the time so that there isn't really any delay as well. So that way we can just keep it moving, keep the flow.
I think there's a couple second delay between us talking and it showing up on YouTube, but if you keep your screen refreshed, you'll be caught up with us all the time, so you don't have to worry. So,
and if you haven't over the break, please put in your question, your first name, your zodiac sign, and your question in the chat. If you're in for lottery, just go ahead and put that in. If you've donated, make sure you let us know you've donated. But pop on over to Oracle Intuition's page, give us a like, nice subscribe, and we'll see you in a few.
See you in a minute. That's not what I wanted to do. Hang on.
Ended the show.
Welcome back. Welcome back. How's it going?
Going. Oh, why did my stuff stop over here?
Huh?
Uh-oh. Refresh.
What'd you do?
How do I go to live?
You
Oh,
are
there we
live.
go. Okay. I
Oh.
mean,
I
this
don't
is
know how many
actually
more live do you
pre-recorded.
want to do?
Kathy and I are that psychic that this is actually pre-recorded. So
Yeah.
we
Yeah. We just know. We know. Can you imagine? That would be hilarious.
that would be
Oh, that's
amazing.
too
I would
funny.
be impressed.
I
I
would
think,
be impressed too. Damn it.
gosh, we would be like some ascended master reincarnated and stuff. Oh, God.
Right? Exactly. I wanted to light my incense. I got it going here, and so
Ooh,
I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? Kind of see it. Hey, kind of. I don't know.
I
Anyway,
see lights.
yeah, I had to go. I had to go find my incense. I had a lighter in my hand. And I was like, "Where did I put it?" Ah. Yeah, Melody. She's like, "You're coming from the future." Yeah, no shit. Eh? That would be awesome.
Great.
Yeah. So, who is first on our list today?
All right, let's jump right into it. We've got Sandra up first. So Isandra, I've put the lists up there. They are in that order. So it'll be Isandra, Jessica, Miguel, Nami, Lefty, Will, and Andrea. We've got our lottery people there. So if you don't see your name on the list, I do not have your question or donation. So if you have donated again, make sure you let us know. But again, also, if you want to at any point, you can upgrade, or if you're coming in new to the show, you can still donate. If there's a cutoff, we will let you know when that is to submit a reading. So we'll just keep you posted on that.
Sandra just brought up. So when Michelle and I were on the show a couple weeks ago, when we did the show when you were away, it was kind of wild. We actually had this. It was like, so. I mean, when it comes to paranormal stuff, I'm not like an orb person. I just
Mm-hmm.
I've just seen so many, camera stuff that I'm kind of like, whatever, it's bug or it's dust or whatever. We had this massive orb. I had this massive orb like flying around my head, and it came like right here, and it was wild. Like it was see-through. And I would know if it was a bug because the bug would have been like right here in front of my face. So I would have seen it. It was you.
I was coming in through spirit, like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah,
Actually,
it
no, no,
was
no.
pretty
That is
wild.
kind of funny because I remember I was getting donations and
Mm,
it was like during the show and I'm like, oh, I could like feel people's energy like waiting. And I remember like thinking about what's going on in the show. I should pop in and say hi, but we were like driving and I wasn't able to.
yeah. Yeah, it was pretty wild though, because normally I just don't, once in a while we'll see a little orb flying around or something like that, but I just
Hmm.
kind of put it off as dust, or something
Oh yeah,
like
yeah,
that. Right?
usually.
But this was pretty big. It was kind of flying around. It was pretty cool. It was good.
That is cool.
Yeah. So what is Sandra's question?
All right, so Sandra is Virgo here, and she's wondering, will I get the job that I'm applying for tomorrow?
Oh, my first. Oh, that's a hard one. It's not hard for me to answer because the first question or the first response I actually got was yes. Um, I feel like I mean I heard yes like so strongly, but the scary part is sometimes I doubt myself when it comes to like job questions. Simply, I keep getting feedback here. I don't know why. Simply because of the fact that with jobs it can be so difficult because there's so many energies within careers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why am I getting feedback? I don't
I'm
know.
not sure.
I'm not sure what's going on. Um, do you hear it?
Mm-mm. Not on my end.
Hmm. But it's going to drive me nuts. Okay, hang on. We'll figure it out.
What
But
about when I talk? Can you hear feedback when I talk?
no, it's just with me. I don't know why. Oh, Might be better now. Okay.
Yay.
But the first thing I hear is yes. So, that's where I want to go. Right off the bat, like it instantly came in with yes, like a huge yes. I feel, ah, damn it. I'm trying to look for, any warnings or anything like that. The only thing that I hear besides the big yes is that if it's not this one, it's going to be similar to this one and almost right away. But I have to say, like, it just feels yes, like that's what I just keep hearing. I want to stay with that. I really do. I don't mean to be so like this, you know what I mean, with it, Sandra. It just feels like I just like to test my emotions, you know what I mean, and the energy that's coming in, and I still just keep feeling yes. So I'm gonna go with that.
I'm gonna kind of dive into what I'm picking up here, which
Yeah.
I'm feeling one thing in particular, Sandra, and what I'm being shown is that there could likely be some conditions that rub you the wrong way.
Maybe
And
that's
what
where
I
I'm
keep
getting
being
that
shown is
hesitation.
that, say again?
Maybe that's where I'm getting that hesitation,
I
or
think you're feeling that hesitation
like
because
it's
I keep being shown these like conditions and I keep being shown you being put into an unclear mental space because it's going to contradict a lot of the inner work that you've been doing for yourself. Because I keep hearing, like, I don't want to end up in a place like before. I can't have that energy again. And there's going to be something that triggers this memory of the past place. And so I feel you being forced into this like sort of scaled decision of like weighing something out. So the most important thing that spirit keeps showing me is that you have to remember all of the growth that you have been doing and that you want that energy to expand. You want more solid roots. You don't want your roots to be chipped away at. And so if there is something that comes through that automatically makes you feel uncomfortable, I feel that this is the moment to sort of press a little bit. Get them
yeah.
to pull you in. It's not about you trying to impress them. It should be the other way around. And honestly, there is sort of this, in general, a shift with job and movement and job market of the person applying having a little bit more power than the company because there are lots of companies that are needing people right now, right? Because there's a shortage of all sorts of jobs. People, or I'm sorry, shortage of all sorts of workers. People are constantly hiring. We see these signs everywhere, of people hiring and needing people. So this really is the time for the employee to have that power. So do not, the point being, don't put yourself in a position where you're giving your power away again, because you have been doing a lot of personal growth, Sandra, and that needs to be sort of first and foremost in your decision making here. So if you get a feeling that rubs you the wrong way, and I'm specifically feeling with like an interviewer and in that moment, take note of that. That's not something to just take lightly, like, oh, maybe it was just they were having a bad day. No. You're taking steps to actively create
Yeah.
stronger and more solid roots for yourself and to be
Yeah.
in a place of growth and not being in that place of like, going back to exactly where you were before. Oh yeah, Sandra, 100%. I felt a temperature rise in my body. I could feel that like heat almost and like this palpitation coming off my skin. So that just shows me you're recognizing what we're saying here to be true. You will have that power. You will have the ability to be like, no, you're gonna make this offer for me, and otherwise, I'm gonna keep going somewhere else because I know my value. Plain and
I
simple.
feel like you've worked so hard to get to where you are, and this is going to be important. I actually pulled some cards because I really wanted to just take a look into what it was that I was picking up, and it's very similar to what Brandon had just said. And I actually pulled the High Priestess. So absolutely, first of all, follow your intuition. This is going to be super important. It is also coming through with the Hierophant. So when that Hierophant comes through, this is like coming in from spirit, right? Like really listen to your inner self. Remember that you're being guided towards a better future. And if that better future isn't corresponding with, or what they're presenting isn't corresponding with your version of that better future, that's where you, like Brandon said, take control. Otherwise, what we got also coming through is the Death card, which is beautiful because that's that transition into something more that's stronger, more stable, letting the past go, going into a new beginning, along with the Knight of Pentacles. So with that Knight of Pentacles, that solid, stable energy, where that you really worked hard to achieve, right? Again, you worked hard and long to achieve that stability. So you don't need to rush into anything. Remember that the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest card in the deck. So you don't need to rush into what it is that they're offering. You can take your time because you've worked to that place in order to allow yourself to take that time.
Absolutely. You're taking a big leap right now, Sandra. It's a huge leap of faith on your part. And if it at any point feels like somebody's cutting you off from that leap, or feels like they're not going to catch you, that's your signal right there. Like, okay, I will get back to you. And you have that, you will have that power. That Hierophant coming up and the High Priestess, that's totally about knowing and harnessing your own power. 100%. I think you're going to be in a position of power for this. Exactly. People are threatened by me because I come off strong. 100%. Absolutely. And those two cards that Kathy pulled, it just makes perfect sense. Like I had no doubt that something like that would show up.
Yeah.
So just the point is being to stay in your power. You've done a lot and you don't want to sacrifice that.
You don't need to settle is the message that I keep
Yes.
getting. You don't need to settle, Lysandra. You've come to a place where, again, you've not only proven your worth to others, but you've proven it most importantly to yourself. And that's what really counts. And so just don't settle. It's funny. Sometimes I pick up on energies. You're going to have to let me know. Because I do feel like one of the interviewers might be kind of appears maybe standoffish, or I don't know if you've already interviewed for the job, or if this already happened, or if this is an interview that you're going for. Don't take, I just keep feeling this energy of don't, maybe this is an employee around you, or, one that's going to be coming up. Don't take them at the face value is what I keep hearing. Like their face might project kind of that standoffish energy, but they're not. But you know what I mean? Like they're not. Just don't let them intimidate you. They're not that way at all. It just feels like it's a defense mechanism for themselves. I don't know if that will make any sense, but you'll have to let me know about
Keep us posted, but good luck.
Yeah. And I'm wishing you the best of luck and big hugs to you, because I know how important this, this moving away from where you are right now is going to be for you. So
yeah, absolutely.
I hope that's helped. You're so welcome. So I believe Jessica was next. I do have Jessica's question here. I don't think she's on the show today, but she will watch later. So she says, so Jessica is a Pisces and Nico is a Gemini, and she just wants to know if we see anything happening still, or if she should move on, because it's been a couple of months. So whatever it is that you get. Now, as you guys know, I read for Jessica before. She's actually a good friend of mine. So I like to let Brandon go first with Jessica, simply because I do talk to her on a regular basis.
So the first thing that I'm feeling here, Jessica, what marker are we at? We are at how many minutes? 49 minutes in.
49,
okay, yeah. The first thing that I'm feeling here is simplicity, the energy between the two of you. There's a very clear feeling of like child, infantile kind of energy where it's like taking the first steps. And what I keep being shown is that there's a lot of things on this surface level, and that feels to be key right now. I think the point is that your energies are kind of operating up here. And they're not going deep yet. They're not getting too intense. And this feels like the right place. But I want to let you know, when I'm tapping into Nico, there is absolute consideration about this depth between the two of you. I really am feeling like he himself is going through an interesting transition at this time. And so for him, it feels like his energy is already kind of extended into this internal relationship with the self. And I feel like it doesn't matter who approaches him, he's going to have to take his time no matter what. But there is this very clear, like almost soul recognition or soul pull that he has towards you, Jessica. So I do feel him and see him wanting things to grow, but I keep hearing this. For once in my life, I'm not going to rush into anything, is what I keep hearing when I connect with him in his mind. Like, it just feels like probably in his past, based on that thought and what I'm hearing, that he probably has rushed into things and let it just come up and spark, and that spark faded out quite quickly because it wasn't nurtured. It wasn't, fed any kindling. It was just like, let's throw wood on top of it, boom, here we go. Big piece of log. And then all of a sudden the fire went out. So it feels like he's really learned some important lessons, and Spirit is showing me that the application of that is happening right now. So I keep being shown not to force anything. And do not project your energy into any sort of forcefulness. That feels to be extremely important because you are still at that surface level. This connection is still in its beginning phases, its infantile phases. So you don't want to rush it. You don't want to force it. It feels key for you to meet at this level right now. And first and foremost, you do not want to put the cart before the horse, so to speak. Let me see what I feel moving forward into the future between the two of you. That way you can kind of get a better idea. But I definitely do feel Nico still feeling connected. Just like I said, he feels like he's actually taking his time for once, which feels quite positive for Nico. I have to say that really does feel positive for him. So let me look at what's to come between the two of you here. Let me pull your energies together. And then let me project that out into the future here. Okay, so it feels like you've already experienced this distance. I feel like there's still a little bit more distance between the two of you, and it is because of either a lack of clarity or just not being able to see things fully clear. And that's where I am feeling like, okay, I finally set in this definition. Obviously, something isn't going to happen. And then you're thrown back into the unknown. This is interesting. So Spirit is showing me that this is a test of the unknown and how you handle and deal with the unknown. A lot of times I find that interesting that they keep showing me that fog, that haze, that lack of clarity. There's like this little word test that went around social media years back, and you answered questions about how you felt about certain things. And one of them that came up, and it was just such a beautiful psychic thing, was like, what do you feel about fog? How do you feel about driving in fog? And you would write your response. And then when you read back the answers, what it would say is, okay, so what you said about this question answers how you feel and deal with the unknown. How do you feel about death and the unknown, and jumping into something you don't know is going to happen? And so this is what keeps being brought up for you, Jessica, is the fact that dealing with the unknown is an extremely important realm for you to understand. What do you do in the face of something you cannot control, and you cannot control the outcome or the knowing? What do you do in the face of that? And that is what is being tested right now. So it makes perfect sense why things are needing to stay at that surface level for the moment. Nico is seeing into things deeper, but this feels to be a almost I don't want to say psychic test, but a very spiritually related test to see how you're going to handle this 100%.
Yeah. So it's interesting because there's a lot of things that you had said, in regards that I had already, mentioned to her. And one of the things I felt first and foremost was that there was no rush off of Nico's end, none.
Yeah.
And it was not because of the fact that there's, not the matter of him not liking her or not whatever. It just feels like there's a lot of things that Nico has to do within his own realm first. It's kind of like we were talking about at the beginning of the video. He's got things that he's got to finish or prepare or, work towards first before, he can devote time towards a relationship.
Mhm.
But I'm also getting, and it's funny because what you had said in regards to like a spiritual test, I did say something similar, and it was like, this is that time to do the healing that is absolutely necessary in order to be
Mm.
in a place to accept this relationship. Because if you're jumping into a relationship, and a lot of people, and this is not towards Jessica in any way, please, nobody, think that, but this is just in general, we see on social media over and over and over again, the people that are like, oh, I'm divorced, in a relationship, now separated, now single, in a relationship. Fuck off. Seriously. Like, if you're not taking that time, if you're not taking that time, to really, know what it is that you want, what it is that you're desiring, what it is, like who you are. And it's basically setting your own boundaries. It's you're getting so that you're not in a place of going, well, are they or aren't they, or are they or aren't they, da, 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 da. Who cares? You know what? I'm here, and somebody amazing and fantastic is going to come towards me because that's what I deserve. That's what
Mhm.
I deserve. And I feel like, from the past, when you've had some disappointment, um, it's kind of put you into a place of, just wanting that relationship almost to some degree for the worth. And it's like, you've got to discover your own worth and your own, like you said, it's like a spiritual test. Like, this isn't about, you have to be patient forever, for this relationship to come. I feel like Nico's there's growing that he has to do, but it's on a different level than somebody else that you've dealt with in the past.
Yeah.
That was an immature energy. This is a mature energy. Nico has things that he just wants to accomplish before he sets himself onto a path of relationships. But you've got to be there too, because you have to match those energies. And so you've got to recognize your worth, and you've got to recognize what it is that you need to release from yourself in order for this relationship, in order, to come forward. Because this could be a very strong relationship, not we're going to go on a couple of dates type of relation. You know what I mean? Like, this could be a
Mhm.
very strong relationship, but you have to be a strong person to have a strong relationship. And that's the
Yeah.
difference. Not just strong on the outside, super strong on the inside. And
Yeah.
that's the difference. And that's, so, what Brandon had to say, I 100% agree with. And so it's, again, it's not a matter of time. Time doesn't matter here. It's energy
It's
that
only
matters.
relative. Only relative
Right.
to the situation.
Absolutely.
People
You're in
think
a place of like having that strength and that energy. And it's like we talked about with manifestation, right? If we're in a place of manifestation, then we already have that relationship, and be in that
Mhm.
place of having that relationship. Simple. Done. You're in that
You know,
relationship. That's going to work on your strength.
people think often, that our thoughts are always private, but the reality is when you're in a relationship, and I bet you Miguel and Amy can attest to this, is that you share everything with your partner. You
Right.
share everything. All of those little deep thoughts, all of those thoughts, they can say you're worried about something, right? And
Yeah.
your partner might not hear that thought, but they can certainly see the reaction that it's causing in you. So that's why all of those little things, it's so intimate. You're ripped open. If you're in a genuine, honest relationship, everything is open, everything is vulnerable, everything is right there for your partner to see. And so when you're having all this stuff internally that you're like, oh, well, they'll never know that, I'm doing this or I'm doing that. No, they will in some way, shape, or form. they're going to know because you're sharing in something that is so intimate that you can't hide that stuff. When you're sharing in love and genuine love feelings, you're going to see everything about your partner. So doing that internal work for yourself, it's just incredibly important to take those steps. So I think that's a good reminder for everybody.
You know, I 100% agree. I think if you're, you know, if you're entering a relationship or wanting a relationship, and again, this is not towards Jessica in any way. This is just general. You have to learn to absolutely be vulnerable. Like this, you know, a relationship it's not a social media status. A real relationship is hearing the good and the bad and the ugly and the amazing. And, you know, it's all of that. And a lot of people, you know, they tend to, so funny. A lot of people, you know, like I said, with the jumping around, you know, like we see single in a relationship, single in a relationship, single in a relationship. And you're just like, oh my God, dude, you know, but it's funny because we have to remember that a really strong relationship is going to handle the death, the stomach upset, somebody ran over a cat, you know, amazing job promotion, wanting to go back to school, wanting to better themselves, wanting to improve. Like it's not just a matter of, oh, hey, I got a social status. I'm in a relationship. A relationship is freaking real, like real. And if you want to make it real, you got to be real. You got to be real, not with just them, but with yourself.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Beautiful information inspired by Jessica. Thank you, love.
Yeah. So I hope that's given you some help and some clarity. And you know, it's like both of us see it. We still feel that energy. And so again, it's not the matter of time. It's really the matter of the energy and the spiritual growth that is moving forward.
100%.
Okay. Yeah. And you're so welcome, Melody. She says, thank you for the reminder. Absolutely. You're so welcome. Sometimes we all need that reminder, right? It's literally, it's not
because we're in relationship. We're in relationship with everybody we connect to, 100%. If you are over on Facebook and you do want a reading, please pop over to Oracle Intuition's YouTube page. That is where you can submit your question. You can either be placed on the lottery list for free, or you can get a guaranteed priority reading by donating $10 minimum. Send it to thedreamteacher@gmail.com PayPal, and you'll be put right on that list. You can put your question in the chat, but please pop over to Oracle Intuition's YouTube page for our live stream here.
Absolutely. I think
Namie's about to take us to school.
What's that?
Namie's about to take us to school.
She is. I hope it's okay if I read this out loud, Namie. So she says, Miguel and I got together in certain circumstances. We broke up when we were in different states. 5 years later, we bumped into each other in Florida.
Bumped into. I love that. I love that.
That wasn't bumped. That was divinely guided, my darling.
I love that.
I'm sure she's writing more though. But as she's writing, we will put, actually, we're going to be looking into Miguel. So
yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
So Miguel, Taurus, here for a general reading. And do my gods have anything to tell me?
Okay. Give me 1 second. My lovely daughter was driving home from on slippery conditions from another province, and she just let me know that she was home safe.
Yay.
So I'm just going to respond to her. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. She's safe and sound. Yay. All right. Okay. So
Miguel, Taurus, and just here for a general reading. And do my guides have anything to tell me?
Miguel, I got to ask you a weird question, and I don't know if this is going to make any sense. It just feels like, I don't know if it's actually, just to start here, I don't know if it's actually a reading. It just feels like it's maybe a thought, and you can just confirm or not confirm it with me. Have you been worried about or concerned about like like you're being ripped off, or something along that line. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like, are you concerned that somebody is taking advantage in some way? Like, does this have to, I don't, if it doesn't, that's okay. It was just something that came in, and I just had to ask about it so I can either keep it or let it go. Because it just feels like there's sort of a concern running around in the back of your head, or I felt something about a concern in regards to that. Yeah, I have. Okay. Okay. Again, you can confirm or, whatever. Do with the information what you want. I feel like you need to set a deadline. This might have to do with the workers on your property. It may have to do with the family. I kind of feel like it may have to do with the workers in some way. You need to set a deadline. Okay, funny you said that, because he spoke with the owner of the company that we bought the house from because he was worried he would be charged other fees. Okay, so there needs to be like some sort of conversation in regards to that.
Yes.
I don't feel like there's anything nefarious going on, but I feel like people are dragging their freaking feet. Okay, I don't know if that makes any sense. It just feels like things are like, hey, we should work today. No, let's take a coffee break. Let's sit down for 5 hours. That type of energy. I don't know if that's exactly what's going on. It just feels like that energy. They seem to be doing things on their time and not giving us any dates. There we go. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for confirming that, because that's exactly what I'm getting. Is you need to say boom, boom, boom. Enough. You have to, because we need this, at this particular date, and that's the bottom line. That's the end of it. And something needs to happen here. I mean, if you have to, you may have to, threaten a bad review, or do I have to take this to social media and find out if you do this with other people? People kind of tend to jump. They may be a little push back on it, but you may have to, find a way, because it just feels like people are dragging their feet. It's like, I have an 8-hour work day. I'm going to work for actually 4 of it and sit around on my ass for the other 4. That kind of energy is what it feels like, right? Whether or not that's exactly happening, but it's just the energy that's going on around it. So it feels like, I know, what, here's the thing, Miguel, you are such a kind person. You know what I mean? Like, you can stand up absolutely when you need to. But I do feel like there's a little bit of energy here. You're kind of like, okay, they're the boss, they know what they're doing. But I do feel that, say to them, this is enough. We've been because, here's the thing. I've been feeling like you guys are supposed to be in that house and on that land, months ago. Like, this was 2 months ago, and the land is ready for you. The land is calling you in. Everything should be there for you. And I had words exchanged today with the sales rep we are dealing with. Absolutely, keep doing that. This has to be taken care of. Tell them you're going to go all Cuban on them. Sandra, that's awesome. Right? But that's what I keep feeling. It's not, again, that anybody's doing anything nefarious or, anything like that. It's just they're pissing around, and enough with pissing around. They got to get their shit together, and that's the end of it. And that's so I hope that's Miguel. Other in go
Oh,
there.
hang on a sec. You're cutting out a bit, Kathy.
Oh, am I?
Yeah, our connection's a little bit
Is that better?
blocked. Looks like a internet issue.
Okay, hang on.
Okay, there we go.
Is that better?
Yeah,
For sure.
for now.
Okay. Maybe what I'll do is while you're talking, I'm gonna go I'm gonna log out and come back on because see if that fixes the connection.
Okay.
Okay. I'll be right back.
So, Miguel, the one thing I'm feeling here, you really have really great energy right now. Like your energy feels beautifully aligned, beautifully balanced. Spirit keeps showing me this really nice balance of emotional harmony that's kind of within you. And I keep seeing this balance with emotion and intuition happening right now. So, why that is important is because what you're going to provoke, because I 100% am seeing what Kathy is seeing too, that Spirit is showing it to me different. They're showing me that the bullshit needs to be called out and cut out. So there does have to be that force, just like Kathy was saying. Why this is important though is because, oftentimes when we like have our own crap that we're hanging on to and we project it onto somebody else, for example, say we're going to some fast food place and we're in a really bad mood, we're really hangry, right? We all of a sudden go off on that person. It's totally unwarranted. It doesn't need to happen. And you're already coming from a bad energy, so it's not going to create like a good thing. The other part of this is you being in this good energy is going to be able to get them to see, okay, we are the ones that are dropping the buck, right? We're the ones that are dropping everything here. We're the ones that are not keeping up with what we've said. So all of that gets pushed onto them. So it's not going to be reflected back onto you because you are in a good space in yourself. So I don't know why, but Spirit keeps showing me that feels really important because you're coming from the right place. And since you are in harmony in your own self, you're working to create harmony. Therefore, you're going to be able to see that. I keep feeling that there is going to be an emphasis on good communication. Like you're going to be able to get your point across very easily and very clearly, but with a lot of like internal personal power. So there's going to be emphasis. There's going to be oomph behind your words. So that's why the BS is ready to be cut out now, and you can absolutely take that active energy and that action. Whereas like, I don't know, Namie, for example, like she said, I had my words today with the sales rep, but I don't know if he took your energy in the way that he would take Miguel's, if that makes sense. Because you're connected with all the emotion of it. And Miguel is able to come in and kind of be like, okay, boom, here I am, and I'm not going to be affected by you one way or the other. I don't care, however you feel about it, because I know what's right and I know what's wrong. So I think there's going to be a better reception with Miguel's energy. Not that there's anything wrong with you, Namie, but it's the fact that the other people receiving the words or the sort of force, it just comes off differently. And with Miguel, he really is in this nice balanced space. So that's really why I keep feeling it works well with you to be able to do that, because they're just showing me that you're going to be able to cut right through the bullshit. Whereas, maybe with you, Namie, you might get absorbed into them and their feeling and the whole emotion of it all, which could make it a little more difficult to get the point across. So I think that's actually what Namie's question is around as well. So she said, yeah, so we'll just hop into yours, Namie, if you don't mind. There was another delay regarding the homes. Will things get resolved so we can move next week?
Was that the deadline that they gave you, Namie? Am I back and I'm normal now?
Yes, everything looks okay.
Okay, good.
It looked like I was messing up though too while you were gone, so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's who knows? Yeah, Miguel is good at putting the foot down, and I really think speaking with the owner, who is a male coming from another male, it's more on a man-to-man level. Yeah,
Yeah.
I hate to be in that place, where women can't stand up for themselves, or that a man shouldn't be listening to a woman. I mean, we obviously, as a woman, hey, and as a single mom who's had to deal with many, 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 you know, contractors, mechanics, whatever. Like, I don't have a husband standing up behind me going, you know, I got to deal with all this. I want that respect, right? I want that respect to say, this better be done now. But it just feels like in this case, I don't know if it's an older male or a male that has more, I guess, traditional that like thought patterns. I guess I'm not going to say values because I don't really consider that a value to be chauvinistic, but let's say a thought pattern. I do get that there might be more energy, you know, coming from Miguel in that way, just simply because of the fact that of who you're dealing with. And I mean, you know, as much, I don't even want to get into it because I'm going to go on a tangent and I just won't do that right now. But yeah, I mean, I get it because I've had to, you know, stand up for myself and, you know, in different, you know, in different manners, right? And it's frustrating when they sort of look at you like as if you're, oh, you're just a woman. Who the hell are you to say anything? You know, that kind of energy, right? But, you know, there are, you know, some people and even some cultures that's, you know, that's just how it is. And it's not that we can't sit and fight for ourselves. But, you know, here's the thing. Do we want it done? Yeah, let's just let Miguel's energy at this point kind of come in. Is the one I exchanged words with, but I think Miguel should address everything with the owner. Yeah, absolutely. So I feel like, again, there needs to be that deadline set, you know, in order for you guys to be really in there. Like, honestly, I really feel like you guys should have been in there a while ago, you know, and I kept seeing you. And, you know, here's the thing. Usually I'm pretty good with when it comes to those timelines. So, you know, with this happening, it's just, again, it's like that delay. I really feel here that once those words are said, I do get a little bit of resistance, possibly from the owner, even with Miguel, you know, talking to him. But that's more on it's not resistance in the, I don't know how to describe, that's ego is what I get. It's like his ego may, you know, be a little bit pushed back, but I really feel like, okay, you have to, you know, set that line, give them an actual date, say that there's, you know, enough is enough. That's what I keep feeling. I'm also getting something to do here with your business, Nami. Just give me a second. I know that really wasn't your question, but I think to some degree we sort of answered the question, and I'm getting more on the with your business. So there's a lot of energy that I feel with your business, like a lot of energy that you still might be putting out a little bit, which isn't a bad thing. Again, I'm really hearing something about your boundaries, like keep your boundaries tight. There's a little bit of hesitation in you in regards to self-doubt. And it's, you know what, here's the thing. You don't need to doubt yourself. I feel like there's a it's not about doubting what you're receiving. It's about what's the word? How you present it. And it's not that it's a bad thing how you're presenting it. I just feel like you're a little bit hesitant on maybe the bad news that you may have to sometimes present, or a different way of presenting it. It just feels like that might be something that you might want to practice with. You know, one of the things you can do is, you know, maybe if you have a Facebook page, start doing Facebook lives, if you have a Facebook page, right? Because you can go on and you can do Facebook lives, even if you're just narrowing it down to a few, like have a strict, I'm only going to do 10 today, first 10 that comes in, make it, very similar to what Brandon and I do here, but do it off of Facebook. And, you can either get people to like your page, or if they want to give a donation, or something like that, right? Especially, and it's just a matter of learning a new way of presenting, is what I feel, because your energy are you knocking things over? Are you trying to beat
Yes.
stuff up? Okay. The energy and the information that you're getting is valid. You're listening to spirit, but you're just a little worried on the self-doubt and the presentation a bit. And again, this doesn't mean that your presentation is in any way bad. It's just sometimes, like, the doubt can come off in the words, if it makes any sense. If you know what I'm talking about, like you might be in a place of doubt. So the way you present it, remember that spirit's coming through for a reason. And spirit's coming through for a reason, and they're coming through with the knowledge and the information that you need. So you don't really have to hesitate in presenting it. It's just have that confidence within yourself. And you're even on, some of if you're on groups, if they allow Facebook Live readings or something like that. Again, you don't need to do hundreds of them. And I feel like that sometimes, can be very overwhelming with people, especially if you're doing a free reading or one just for a review or a like, or, something like that. Set a limit, set your boundaries, and go forth is what I get. Because you're going to do very, very well within this field and within this business. And there's going to be a lot of expansion, which is why I feel like expansion into other things, maybe other products, whatever it is, like it's going to expand. And I actually feel it expanding over the next few months. So I almost feel like, kind of set your goal for the next 2 or 3 months, but allow the energy to bring in other things. Okay.
Yeah, I keep seeing products. I keep seeing products. I can see the brands on like a bottle of something, or like a vial, a jar. I just keep seeing products. So be open definitely to things expanding, even just beyond if you're doing readings, energy readings, or whatever it is. Be open to that, because I could just see this whole brand being developed by you, and I see you being happy with it, and I see little hints and hues of blue, different shades of blue. And I can almost see maybe like this almost ethereal wave, or it's not like water, but almost looks like spiritual water in some way. It's got a really cool vibration. I think it's going to expand more than you may even know, or more into what you wish. Natural soaps and essential. There you go. Exactly. That makes perfect sense. I could just see that packaging and the labeling. It's great. Oh my gosh. I'm just going to give you an idea of putting in little crystals into the soap that you get at the end of using the soap. So I just want to connect back with your original question of what's going on with the house. So as far as next week, I'm not feeling smooth sailing there. That is where I am being shown that sort of friction in the communication. But I am shown that loyalty is going to be talked about a lot. And I think that could be a very good pivot point for people. I am feeling a very strong reaction with the second week in January. What Spirit keeps showing me is just solidified bond with the house that does become actualized. So I think you can kind of expect that mid-January there. So it looks like Miguel, I honestly would make that call either, tomorrow, Friday, or Monday, as soon as possible. Don't wait too long, and make sure you get on them. But I'm feeling very strong mid-January here. So not too much longer. I hate that it keeps pushing things out, but now you guys are seeing kind of in real time. we connected with this, that you guys were supposed to be moved in a long time ago. When you do have other variables, with other people who are dropping the ball, what we're doing is we're looking at the energy right here, right now, and what's supposed to be. And when you put into other people's energy, like we talked about in the very beginning of the show, be careful who you work with, be careful who you invite into this, this journey into your goals, because they absolutely will affect it in some way, positive or negative. And I think that's a general runaround that I've been hearing, now being in real estate as well myself, that contractors can be totally difficult to work with, like Kathy was saying. So it feels pretty good about mid-January. And I hate that you've had to deal with people that you can't rely on, but I think that is par for this course. Once you're done, you never have to work with them again. Just be out of your hair, clean your hands of them, be like, fine, we got it from here. We'll do our own renovations when we want to expand and do whatever we want from here. And we will not be calling you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a shame that people that they do stuff like this and they just think that it's absolutely okay to do it, and they don't understand where people's energy is, and what it, like delays like that can really screw people up. Like, what if you didn't have a place to stay? Then what? Right? Then what? So you're homeless in a box, you're renting a hotel. Like, what is it? And so when people are, pissing around like that, it really upsets me. So but yeah, I do feel that I think once it's spoken and it's very much that energy of like, okay, this is your deadline. Enough is enough. Enough is that.
Let's all send Amy and Miguel some really good energy. Put a heart in the little chat box. Let's just send them some good energy so that they can kind of overcome this, because I know it's more taxing than you guys are letting on and letting us know here, and just want to kind of send that out to you guys. So just put a nice little heart in the chat, show your little love and support. I think that would be very fitting of our little group that we have here.
I don't have emojis, so I have to type it in, but that's okay. Heart. I'm like, whatever. Okay. I still, give them an ultimatum. Give them the ultimatum. I do think that would help. Yeah. Okay. Levity is next, or Love Tea. Sorry, Love Tea. Oh, and you're so welcome, Amy. You're so very welcome. What is Love Tea's question?
See, and that's why Amy can't go talk to those people. Too emotional.
Yeah, but Miguel's got a pretty good heart too. He's pretty, looks a little bit bigger.
It's not the size of the heart.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, what was
Love Tea? Are you here with us, Love Tea? And yes, Kay, absolutely. Please put in your first name, your zodiac sign, and question in the chat, and we will put you on our free lottery list. Right now, we are currently doing our donation list. Those who donate $10 minimum or more will be put on our guaranteed reading list for the show, and we will get to the lottery list at the end, so you can absolutely join.
Can you explain the lottery list just so that everybody listening understands the lottery list?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we do is, we do free readings here, and as our show has grown, we've had to give placement for people who really needed a reading, who came in time and time again but never were able to get one, because we do it based on randomization. We'll assign your name, a number, and use a random number generator to pull up who is going to get a reading. So we do have that donation list that will give you priority in case you absolutely want to have a reading. Otherwise, when you're put on the lottery list, your name is associated with a number, and we call out that number, and that means you have won a reading for today's show. So again, you can donate.
We're not going to go through the whole list of the free readings, just so you guys know. We do try to do at least one per show if we can, but if you're
because the show has grown. The show has grown so much, so we can only do a limited amount at this time.
Yeah. Okay. What is Love Tea's question?
All right, so Lefty says a lot of things have occurred over the last 2 weeks, and I was wondering where Ricky's thoughts, feelings are at regarding us. Lefty is Aries, and Ricky is Capricorn.
Okay. Have we talked about Ricky before?
I think we have, yes. R, I think
Oh,
usually is how
okay.
it came
Right,
up.
right. Okay. I'm it feels like there's sorry. I'm feeling like okay, Lefty, you may have to confirm for me some of this, but it feels like there's a stronger sense of stability going on here in some way. Like it almost feels as though, has he stepped up? Has he like come forward? Because it almost feels to me like I feel like there's a bit of a chase going on from him to you almost rather than, opposite energy. Like it feels stronger coming from him towards you than it did in the past. He's been reaching out more. Yeah. Like I kept hearing the word chase, if that makes any sense, like where he's wanting to chase, you know what, here's the thing. This is going to be really important because this is the thing that I get right away. Let him keep doing that because this is going to be important for him. I feel like he's coming into a place where he's but like I said, he's very slow moving. That's okay. The slow moving isn't a bad thing. A lot of people want things right away. Slow moving isn't a horrible thing as long as it's consistent movement. Does that make sense? Like, I mean, if it's like, he's reaching out more often, but it's, every couple of weeks rather than every couple of days or whatever it is, that's not saying much. But I feel like he's in a place where he's starting to chase like his energy towards you. So I'm not exactly sure how to explain it, but it feels like you're here and he keeps coming like this, coming towards you. And for me, it feels like you have to keep letting him do that work though. That's going to be the important thing. If you turn around and change that dynamic, that could push things a little bit further away. So, like, let's say you don't hear from him for a day or two. Whatever. Go about, do your own thing. Don't even think about it or worry about it. Go do your thing because it's almost like he's going to be sitting there watching his phone, wondering what the hell you're doing and how come you're not reaching out to him. And that's bringing him closer. It's bringing him closer. So even though, it feels like this is going to be important, okay, is that let him do this work. It's almost as though he's now becoming a man, and doing the man things about reaching out and trying to come forward. So I'm hearing from spirit that even though the energy is slow, this man has you on his mind a lot. There's a little bit of fear still here in regards to like his next move or whatever, the full enchilada of commitment, that sort of thing. But I do feel that he wants this. He wants this is what I keep getting. But it is going to be important for him to be the one to come forward. That movement, that slow movement will come faster. Okay. But you have to have the patience to allow it to come faster, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see what else I pick up, but I'll let Brandon talk for a second.
you know, Love T, the energy between the two of you, first and foremost, it just really is interesting because Spirit keeps showing me it's like there's been this void, this kind of feeling of unknown, and what has sprung up from it is this unexpected vulnerability. And through that vulnerability, I keep being shown a sense of harmony just immediately coming up between the two of you. It's like getting into this flow. Oh my gosh. And I feel this natural sense of movement between the both of you. And that's where Kathy was saying, and I completely agree that it does not have to be fast. Not at all. And then, you know, of course, an Aries would say, they're going so slow compared to an Aries. Yes, Aries can jump on things so quickly and like just move forward. But remember, he's Capricorn. His nature is a little bit slower. And why I keep feeling this when I look at his energy, his thoughts and feelings, I keep feeling that there is this sort of resistance in him that he's dealing with as an inner child of like having difficulty opening up. And this is a constant work for him. This is like constant work for him to really open himself up and to make himself vulnerable because
I
his
literally
natural
pulled
inkling,
awakening. I
his
literally pulled
look at
awakening
that.
as you're talking. Look at that, right?
His
So
natural instinct, his inclination is to be closed off and detached because that's how Capricorns have to operate. You know, that's why they're the business sign of the zodiac, because they can detach from that and they can be like, no, I'm cutting through the bullshit. I can see through this. I know that this is the right way to go. And so that's the approach he's not trying to take because that does not make a successful, you know, intimate relationship. So there is work that he's doing that you're not even seeing. So definitely
yeah,
being patient with him is an absolute must. That is absolutely needed. When I ask Spirit what you need to be focusing on, they're showing me to not play any distance games. Don't pull
yeah,
yourself back. Don't like be like, oh, you know, come and get me over here and blah 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 because I need to see movement or whatever. They're showing me to try and avoid that behavior that may look things unstable. Because I'm asking what's coming up in the future, and I'm asking what you're going to see, and they're showing me that it's like there's a little bit of that haze that you're probably seeing right now and you'll see in the near future, maybe the next couple weeks, or I'm sorry, next week. But what is really happening and what you're stepping into is definition. Every good relationship will need to have a sense of definition, things being defined. And this is what I feel like your soul has been waiting for, or maybe your brain has not recognized it, or maybe you have, I'm not sure, in that recognition. But the point is, the feeling is what I know you've been waiting for. And it's that definition that's going to give that. That's going to be the key to everything. That's going to feel like, oh my gosh, okay, finally, we know we're here. We know we're defined. Okay, I got it now. Now I'm feeling that sense of comfort, that sense of him showing up, that sense of him being here, how I really feel like it was supposed to. So definitely avoid, any of that elusive behavior if that desire kind of comes up in you, because at this point I don't feel it's going to incite action. He really is doing a lot more internal work than you even see, than I feel like even aware of at this time. So there really is a good sense of harmony coming out of this. I keep feeling this energy of surprise really happens in the energy here. It's like you've kind of gone from this void and being in the limbo to all of a sudden like some thread really opened up, and what you're going to see in the near future here is stepping into that definition. And so you want to be in the right energy for that too. So just be clear, be open and be understanding, because he is absolutely doing some good internal work here.
So one of the things I keep hearing, Love T, is try to remove that place of doubt within you. And here's the thing, I was just reading what you said. I know in my heart how he feels, but my love language is spoken communication. You know what? His might not be, though. Right. And that's the thing, that because I do feel with him, he can be a great communicator if he really sets his mind to it. But there is a lack of, to some degree, vulnerability within him. Oh my gosh, he invited me to his house.
Yeah, look at
Yeah,
that. There's that
there.
definition. I knew it.
Yeah. So, a lot of times, whatever the love language is, we have to sometimes be in that place where we're accepting that other person's language too. So, we've talked about this before. Some people really need to hear, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. But other people, and we've done readings, I'm sure Brandon has too. I don't want to speak for him, but for me, I've had people that are like, oh, are they ever going to apologize? I'm like, okay. They'll be like, well, they took me on a trip and they bought me a car and 800 ponies, but they haven't said I'm sorry. Okay,
Yeah.
right. let's you know let's look at this
Yeah.
realistically, and not saying that you're not doing that, but yeah, try to remove the doubt, because he might be more action fulfilled than he is with his words. And that's something that, so even though you prefer the words, you may have to sort of look. But here's the interesting thing: you have to account for his actions within yourself too, because he might not understand the words that you're speaking, and he might prefer to see the actions. Do you see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So it might be the little things that really mean, especially people that are action fulfilled sometimes. And you'll probably know him better than we do, but sometimes people that are action fulfilled, even the small things can mean the world to them, right?
Yeah.
Like, for someone like me, when I watch people's actions, it doesn't need to be a big parade going down my street. But you know what? Being there for me, talking to me, maybe send me a flower. I don't know. Do even those small little things, or just saying, hey, can I do anything for you? Or, do you need anything? 99% of the time, I'm always going to say no. But to have somebody say that to me, or to do, something towards me in that way, that means the world. And I really do feel I need to let go of the doubt based on the absolutely. Really, you
Yeah.
know what? I'm going to teach you a little trick. And this is something that I used to do and still do to some degree. Um, when you have the doubt coming through, try to imagine your hands like a table, okay? And put that doubt right in front of you, and take a look at it, and really go, is there a reason for this doubt? And okay, it might be the past, might be this, might be that, but let's look realistically at the object that I'm looking at on the table, which is the doubt. Okay, and then what we can do is kind of wrap it up, put it into a bag, imaginary bag, put it into a box, but give it to God, give it to your angels, give it to the universe to help clear up. And then you're removing it from yourself. So almost imagine yourself removing that doubt, putting it in front of you, really taking a look at it. Because once we actually take a look at the doubt, or we take a look at the negative energy or the negative thought pattern of what it is that we have inside of us, and we take a realistic look at it, we it kind of tends to make it more solid, but in a way where we're looking at it going, okay, well, I thought it was a puppy, but it's really, or I thought it was a rhino, but it's really just a small kitten. You know what I mean? Like, it's not as big as I thought it was. I don't need this doubt anymore. I can wrap it up, give it to God, give it to the universe, let my
Mhm.
angels take care of that, and keep doing that, but try to get the one of the things you can do too is that when we go into a place of doubt, it's sort of all encompassing if we just say doubt. So what we want to do is we want to start breaking that down a bit. What exactly is the doubt? Okay, now we're taking a tangible look at it. What exactly is that doubt coming from? Because if we say, it's doubt in all encompassing, it's very large, right? It's very, very large. But if we can, it's kind of like if you put the globe on your hand, and you're looking at the whole globe, that's a whole lot of junk. But if you break it down to a country, a city, a street, a house, boom, it's now this. It's nothing. And then get rid of it.
Absolutely. I've been working with clients with this recently too, and it really is just a reframing that has to happen. Remember,
Mm.
your brain is a computer. It is not the ultimate last resort decision maker. It's just a computer. It runs programs. Doubts are those little moments that your computer program is coming in saying, hey, I got to make sure that this person stays protected. So I got to make sure I think of every situation and possibility so that way I can protect this person from being hurt because I don't want this person to be hurt. That's the program that's being run. you have to allow those to not control the decision that you make towards your actions. So just say, nope, my faith and what I believe in, and especially my heart, is stronger than the thoughts that are trying to protect me. Because in all reality, if you want to have a good relationship with any person, you have to have a certain amount of vulnerability, plain and simple. So don't let that computer program that's trying to protect you also block out the love that's trying to come through too, because it will. Your
Yeah.
brain doesn't know the difference. It just says vulnerability. Ah, scary. So try to reframe those thoughts and try to help yourself run a different computer program there in the brain.
I really like the Sedona method. It really, it basically is sort of that concept, where instead of looking at something as all, we start down and we allowing, and just releasing it. And so it doesn't feel as, you know,
Yeah.
even if let's say there's several things, um, it was kind of like I was talking about at the beginning of the show here, where we were talking about the boxes.
Hmm.
Okay. And a lot of I never, like, I'll be honest with you guys. I very, very, very rarely get to that place where I don't know what I'm doing, or I'm like, I'd stated depression, or I can't figure it. I've done this all my life, is put everything into, and so you can do this even with, the doubt you have him, put each doubt in its separate box, and each doubt on a separate level, right? Or you're holding it in front of you. You don't want to all encompass it, because some doubts might have more validation than other ones. Ones might be little tiny things, but we're sitting there in this place of worry and stressing and, all of it over something that really isn't important. So, yeah, I
Enjoy
hope
what's
that,
coming up. I hope you have a good time at the parents' house. Love to you.
yeah.
Meeting the
That's, did
parents.
you already go to the parents, or
Say
did he
again.
just, did she already go to his parents,
She
or?
said that he invited me to his house, like his parents' house. I don't know if it's happened yet. I feel like it's coming up.
Okay, cool. Oh, you're some love tea. Will is next. What are we looking into with
Mr.
Will?
Will.
Will,
All
are
right,
you
Will.
here? Is he here? Oh, she
He
didn't
said
go.
he's at work, so he'll
Oh, okay.
probably listen. So we'll take um
Oh, she didn't go. She was scared.
oh
Okay, you're gonna go next time, because it's gonna
yeah.
happen again. Yeah, no more of the scared stuff.
It's so, I mean, let's just also put a pin in the fact that he invited you there. That's huge. That's pretty big.
There's scared of. There's nothing to be scared of, hun. Literally, there's nothing to be scared of. So,
Just be you. Don't let
yeah.
those doubts creep in. So Will said he's at work. What minute are we at? 1:47. Okay, so in case we can message him. Jessica was at what, 49? Will's
Yeah,
at
I messaged
147.
her already and let her know. So
Okay.
49, 17. Yeah.
So Will, just a general reading, Mr. Taurus.
Mr. Taurus. Okay. Will is gonna have to confirm for me. I literally keep hearing the name Jamie over and over and over again. I don't know if something is happening with this lady, or something has changed within the energy there. I don't, and I don't know if these are two separate things, because again, I might need that confirmation whether or not this is Jamie or not, but I keep getting this energy with Will. I literally get this energy of, like, feeling comfort, cuddling, maybe some sort of, like, intimacy, maybe not on a sexual level, but it feels like an intimacy. I don't know if this is coming or if it's already happened. It just feels like something is there for you. Again, I don't know if it has to do with this Jamie person or if it's somebody else, that it just feels like a very strong place of being content. Like, I feel like you're very focused on what it is that you're wanting to achieve. And I feel like because of that focus, you're really starting to see. So, okay, the image I'm being presented here is you standing here. And because you have the focus of what it is that you're trying to achieve, things that used to be, I guess, in fog, like sometimes if we, if we look forward, we sometimes see things in a fog, but they're starting to present themselves. I guess that's the best way to say it. It's like things coming out of the fog, like you have a clear view of what it is that you're trying to achieve. I keep getting the number 5 too, so it almost feels like there might be 5 things that you're trying to, concentrate on. This could have to do with maybe career, romance, whatever it is. But it might even it might not even be all 5 that are massively important. It just feels like a number 5 might be things that have been kind of kicking around in your brain in some way. But now they're coming out of the fog and they're coming into a clear view. So you're standing here and you're seeing these things, present themselves that where they're tangible. You can touch them. You can start really start to mold them. The best way to say it, into what it is that you're wanting and trying to achieve and have been working so long on. And I do feel this level of comfort coming through. Hear from spirit is now is not the time to let go, I guess, of your goals. I'm also hearing you may have to pick between 2 things. I don't feel like this is people. This could be might have to do with wrestling. I'm not exactly sure what this about. I don't know, but I'm hearing that you may have to choose between 2. It's not even a matter of really choice, but which thing are you going to put more focus on? And you already know what it is that you want to put more focus on, but you might be in a place of being scared to put the focus on it because it might be a little bit more work or it might be a little bit more challenging. But spirit is saying absolutely still continue to, that's the one that you need to go for. Like the one that's more challenging for some reason. I feel like that is what you're supposed to be focusing on for some reason. So let's say I'm you and I'm here and I see it here. So what side of what is this? My left side? I can't, like, left, right. I don't know. I'm retarded. It feels like something coming from this side. So it feels like, I don't know why that makes a difference, but it almost feels like your first goal, or it has something to do with left side. I don't know exactly what that's talking about, or it could be just the matter of like it's a bigger picture, it's a bigger image that's coming through, but it does feel like it's something that's going to be really important for you to focus in on. It also can come back to this energy of comfort. It almost feels like you're being hugged, maybe like comfort, like a place of comfort. If this doesn't have to do with an actual person, I feel like this could possibly be your guide or some sort of um uh spiritual energy that's coming in for that reassurance. But it does feel like this could possibly be an actual human kind of comfort is what I'm getting. So I hope that helps.
I that comfort is absolute, like, that is the energy for
You
sure. Because
feel
I'm looking at
that
his
too?
energy.
Like, it's just so warm and, like, you just like, you can
Yeah.
almost, like, coming up behind and, like, hugging, it's like that type of
Mhm.
energy.
Absolutely, there is that feeling of, like, closeness or intimacy. I am feeling a lot of bonded energy, like, focusing on bonds and specifically communicating about the emotions or the emotional connection, the emotions that are coming up. I feel like that's gonna be coming up a lot. It
Oh, that
feels
sounds
like
so awesome. I'm so
it feels like
sorry.
maybe you have to, like, either have this talk or have this communication or it's just gonna kinda come up around you, but it feels, I don't know, it just feels really nice. Like Kathy was saying, it's got that, go ahead. It's got that total emotional reaction, that emotional comfort, that emotional warmth, that feels really important. It feels like such a nice energy coming off of you that you're giving out as well. Either it's being reflected from you, or it's like coming off of you in some way, that other people are receiving, and they're going to want to talk about it. So that really, that just really feels like a nice space. What I am being guided to for you to be focusing on, the spirit is really wanting you to be clear. Like Kathy was saying, you might have to make a decision. And I keep being shown that energy as well, to make a decision, to be very clear in, okay, I need to either decide I'm going to go this way or that way. What spirit keeps showing me is not to go with the wishful thinking, but to go where you absolutely know you're going to expand. So I would absolutely agree with what Kathy was saying, is that focus more on the one that seems a little bit harder or a little bit more challenging, because the issue here, I think, is, being a Taurus yourself, and myself, I know this, it's so much easier to stay in the comfort zone, and there's going to be a lot of energy of comfort that's kind of coming off of you. So when you're feeling all of that, it's going to be natural for you to stay in that space, but you're in such a good momentum and good projection of growth right now. You don't want that to stop. You don't want that to be heated in any way. So you want that to really keep that momentum, keep that movement forward. I keep being shown that there's like, it's interesting. It's like something that has been with inside of you, that it's an inner knowing that it almost gets to the point where it's under your skin, where you've known that this is going to happen. You may not have known when or how or what was to come to be, but it's like you have had this inner knowing for a long time. And so choosing the work that might be a little bit more challenging, and focusing on the growth instead of the comfort zone, is going to allow that to kind of manifest full-fledged. So you really are taking those active steps, into literally unlocking these things that you have either been wishing for or knowing was coming anyways. So yes, it's good to be comfortable, and it's good to extend that, especially in the area of emotion, but don't stay in that comfort zone and don't stay stuck there, because you really are on good forward movement right now.
Mhm.
So yeah, it feels really good. Well, you feel in a really good place. Again, enjoy the kind of bonded closeness, like Kathy was saying. It does feel like that little bit of a warm hug kind of vibe almost. So it's just, you're in a really good space, but don't let that force you to stay comfortable and stay there. That's not the point. Enjoy it for what it is and keep that forward momentum.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. All right. I believe Kalal is gonna come in as well, but next is Andrea.
Andrea. Yeah, we'll do Andrea, and then we'll do Kalel here. And then we'll see if we can get to some lottery.
Sure.
Andrea, how are you, love? There you are. Hi. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. I did. Thank you. I got to spend time with my family. I hope you did as well. All right.
I did, but we spent the day in the ER. I was like,
Yeah,
it's been
it's not
a
fun.
year. Yeah.
It
My
really has been a year.
kids
God, Kathy.
I'm just, it was kind of funny because my son really bad stomachache. It turned out that he had kidney stones. Um
Mm,
and it was sort of funny because we were sitting there, and we had decided, like, we actually all went and celebrated on the 23rd with my daughter and my family, my sister, and my kids, uh and we had and so, Christmas Day, we had already known that we were just going to kind of sit around, just going to be him
hmm
and I. We didn't really have any plans or anything like that. So, I mean, did it suck that it was Christmas Day? It did. Tell you something, ER a lot better. fairly quickly. Like, all in all, it is what it is, right? Like, I mean, I was more worried about him, rather than obviously, worrying about Christmas. But,
Yeah.
we still got to spend time with family, and we had all of that. I'm sorry to hear you were sick, Andrea. That's too bad. That's horrible. Yeah, it just seems to be like this was the year for it. You know what? It is what it is, right? But hey, here's the thing. Everybody's okay now. That's the important thing that comes out of it, right?
Absolutely.
What was Andrea's question?
All right. So Andrea, Pisces, and wants a love reading.
Oh, okay. Can you give me a little bit more specific in regards to if you're like, is there anybody that you want us to look into in particular, or any, sort of, I guess, something to do with the situation, maybe? I'd rather than bring it in for the new year. Yeah, absolutely. I'd rather bring it in too. So, okay, I'm going to tell you what I did pull here, and you can tell me. First thing that's coming through here is okay, so it feels as though first thing I got coming in for you, Andrea, is the Tower. So when the Tower comes through, it's like a change, okay? It can be something of a radical change. It doesn't mean that it's bad. It doesn't mean that it's good. It's just a change, like something sudden. So this could have been a sudden realization. It could have been a sudden movement to some sort of sudden action. The interesting thing is that I'm also getting the 10 of Pentacles as well as the 2 of Cups. These are beautiful energies. These are like love energies. So it feels as though what I'm hearing from Spirit is that there is about to, or there has been, a change in regards to emotional movement is what I'm getting. So I'm thinking here about, you know what? I keep hearing something about, don't worry about the speed of the movement, okay? I feel like that is important. I feel like we already kind of talked about that. It just feels like the movement is happening. There's a change. It feels like, I don't know if somebody, are you with me? Like, is this in regards to somebody in particular, Andrea? Because it just feels like something has changed.
It does.
Right? Like it just feels like there's a change within the movement, but it's not a bad thing. Like, this is like, it feels like, again, with this emotional stability, I don't know if this is towards yourself, or a real within yourself, or a movement towards within somebody else. She's single, not hug. Okay. Okay. Well, on that note, because she said she's single, not talking to anyone, there is change coming. Okay. I hate being so general like that, though. I really do. But what it feels like here is, just give me 1 second here. I just want to put
I
it
can
into words.
jump in.
Yeah, go ahead. You can go ahead. Greg has
Okay,
been
so
in my
Andrea,
class.
first thing I have to say is when I'm connected with your energy, I am feeling this total like void, like things are in limbo. I feel like you're stuck in a haze, like you're stuck in a cloud. I feel like you're unsure, like you're literally in this body of water. You don't know which way to go. But what's so interesting is that I feel like there is movement happening somewhere in the love life. Like Spirit
Yeah.
keeps showing me the emotions are bonded somewhere. And like you've come to understand, like I keep being shown there's like this new branch that's coming off your own emotional awareness, the own sense or collection of the emotions within you, and it's like coming out within and it's extending in some way, and here you are just like lying there, but it's like happening naturally, and it very much gives me this energy of like a plant kind of coming off of a person. And it is through the stillness that a lot of this is happening. It really is creating this new branch, this new extension, this new openness with you. This void that I feel like you're in, it is making you feel detached, but that's just it. What Spirit is showing me that you need to focus on is that it is actually allowing you to become more centered in the self. It's allowing you to feel more at home in the self, that you are able to experience a sense of growth. And here's what's here's what's interesting. They keep showing me that at some point or another, you're gonna have to come up to the surface. And there's a double
Yeah.
entendre here. They're showing me that you're jumping in with people with such depth. Oh my gosh, what?
Right? Like, if you look at that Two of Cups, they're
Oh my
under the and
god,
they need to come up to the surface. Like, it's
look at
literally
that.
like that. And plus also with the Ten of Pentacles, that talks about security and, safety and
Oh my gosh, look at that.
stability, right? So,
The thing I
that
keep
what
seeing
yeah.
is that you're trying to meet people at this already level of depth.
Yeah.
But for most people, it takes them time to even get there. And so it's like it's already mismatched kind of right away. And so what they're showing me is that it's okay to interact on that surface level and to be a little bit like starting to know someone at that superficialness, because when you think about it, our surface, we take a lot of us will take some sense of pride or care or consideration into how we look and come off to other people,
Yeah.
and people need that part of themselves acknowledged or accepted in some way, so that way we can open up into the deeper things. With you, Andrea, you could just go right into depth, like right away. You're like, I'm going in the deep end, see y'all later, let's vibe in every emotion we can possibly feel. But some people, they gotta dip their toe, they gotta take the steps in, go off the low dive first, before they jump off the high dive. And so I keep being shown that you gotta come and meet people up at that surface. So you've kind of been in this space of just really reflecting, absorbed by everything, no sense of boundaries. But there's a new part of the self that is growing up. It's, oh my god, it reminds me of like a lotus, where like the lotus comes up to that surface and it flowers, but the roots are below and all the
Right.
complexity is below. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. I love that. So it's like that new little branch extending out is going to be that surface, your flower, so to speak, of where the other people are able to see, but they don't see all the complexity of the roots underneath yet. And so let them see that flower
Yeah.
first. Don't throw them in the deep end with you. Not yet. Not yet.
I keep hearing too, it just feels very important for you right now, going back to the safety, security, and stability. It feels very so I'm getting kind of a duo energy here. One part of you, what is Andrea again? Is she Pisces?
Pisces, yeah.
Because one part of you is it's wanting to reach out and have that closeness, that person, that energy here, is what I'm getting. But the other part is there's an energy here of kind of neglecting some of your own self. Okay, some of your own self. So it really feels like it's time to work on all of you right now. And it doesn't mean that there's nothing with the love life, but what happens is the more that you're, I guess, if you look at the 10 of Pentacles, okay, it's that tree, right? The roots are planted, it's the stable, it's secure. And as you're planting those seeds, as you're planting that tree, what is happening is that you're rooting yourself into your own safety and your own security, so that somebody else's energy will, or like it's not going to affect you. You're not going to need another energy to make you who you are. You're already going to be that. You're going to be stable and secure and grounded. And And this doesn't mean that you're not in a grounded place. It's basically just saying that when you're in that place, when you're that tree, okay, so what does a tree do? A tree doesn't go and chase the birds, right? The birds come to the tree and they land on that tree because the tree is already secure and grounded and stable within itself. And the animals or the birds that need to come to it will come to it. And that's what I feel. And the tree doesn't feel lonely because it's solid and secure within itself. And that's what I'm getting. And I hope that that helps, because
That's
that's
such a
what I
great
feel like
analogy.
for you at this point. What's up?
Such a great analogy. Yeah, even Andrea says beautiful analogy. It really is. If you do not have plants in your home and around you, I feel like you need to get some, because I feel like they will do not just wonders for your internal imagination, your energy. Like I hope you have some plants around you. If not, start one from a seedling, because you're gonna like fall in love with that journey. Like your soul will be like, oh my God. And I can speak from
Mm.
personal experience. I just planted a plumeria when I came back from Hawaii, and it wasn't doing anything. And then all of a sudden it just sprouts these two big leaves. And I'm like, oh my gosh. It's so exciting.
Thank you, Mel. That's really, but it's interesting too, is because I was just reading what you said, and it said, it sucks when I try to meet them at their level. You don't need to, because okay, so what Spirit's trying to explain to me, is that you're already
Multi-leveled.
right. You don't need to meet them at that when you're, again, it's not like a tree. If the tree is a spruce, you pretend it's an oak. Okay, so
Mhm.
that's basically where you need to be, is just look at yourself and go, look at, I am this cherry blossom amazing beautiful tree, and they will come. What is supposed to be here will come towards me. I don't need to lower myself. I don't need to meet them at their level. In some aspects, we need to. I mean, otherwise we're operating from ego, I guess, is to some degree.
Yeah, but
But
if
we
you
don't
think
need to
about
lower
it,
ourselves or settle upon something.
if you think about it, a tree, it is multi-leveled. The roots are just as
Right.
important underneath the surface as the tree up on top. It's a whole system. It's a whole circular thing. So, you know, see, you need to recognize yourself as being multifaceted and being
Mm.
multi-leveled, because you are 100%. And again, being Pisces, with that Piscean energy, you just become blended with all of them, that you can just move yourself into certain places so easily without really even noticing it. But for example, I was talking to Kathy about this today, and about the different ways that we connect psychically. And I'm like, I'm betting for you, Kathy, you don't have to do what I do. Me being an earth sign, I have to elevate myself. I have to sit and do a ritual, like a meditation. I need to ground myself, and I need to open myself up in order to be able to like fully connect and put myself in that realm. Because if I
Yeah.
don't take those active physical steps for myself, it's like information can get skewed through my own, brain, my own perceptions, and run through my own programs. But when I actually actively take those steps, I open up my energy to it. So whereas you, and it's like that Piscean energy, like, and Kathy was like, oh yeah, I don't gotta do all that. I just got, what'd you say? You're there or something.
I just sort of, so yeah, okay, whatever.
I
Because
just jump right into it.
like most of my day is kind of like a combination, but I think that's where my boxes help, you know, because
Yeah, yeah.
that energy, like sometimes I'm sitting there and I'll be, doing something completely mundane, and I just keep getting messages, or something will come through, or this happens, or I'll be thinking about something, and then all of a sudden I'll hear from somebody that I was just thinking about, or whatever it is. And so you just kind of go with your
Let me ask you, are you
yeah.
clumsy?
Oh.
Because I
Yes.
feel like people who have that constant perception of another realm can easily forget what's going on with the body, and like trip
Oh
or
my,
drop something or
you have like, I can't even describe the clumsiness at times. Like, I'm not a complete disaster, but I'll be holding a cup and something will come through. Like, I think I'm putting the cup on the counter and it'll just be like, okay. In my head, I put it
That's
on the
funny.
counter, but yeah, it's like, or, I don't know how many times I walk, like I'll be walking down the street and, and all of a sudden something will come through, or I'll be like, whatever. And bang, there's my face in something, a door. You get used to it after a while, but I guess to an outside observer, I'd be kind of like, the fuck is going on with this chick? Like, is she drunk? Or what? But yeah, no, because it literally is like, I just feel like sometimes, and not in a weird way. Like, I don't want it to sound weird, I guess, but way I am almost always, it just feels like I'm always getting messages like, I was telling you earlier today, somebody was doing a live show and somebody had asked about their
Mhm.
father, and like right away the message came through, and I felt kind of bad about interrupting their live show for my message that I got for them, but it was validating to them. And I
Yeah.
was like, I can't help it. Like, it's just just it will sometimes just come and I can't help it. And so here's the thing, is if you restrain yourself, then you're really just holding yourself back too. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to pretend like I'm Long Island medium and walk up to people in restaurants, but I have sat at a table with people, and all of a sudden somebody will come through and say, hey, I mean to interrupt this conversation, but what is it? Because like this person beside me, blah, 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 and they really want to talk to you. And so does this have to do with you? So, I don't walk up to strangers though in the middle of the street, because that would be a little bit weird for me.
But Andrea, I do feel like I feel like there is some good transition happening with you, and kind of what we're talking about here, understanding those roots, moving yourself up and down these layers. I keep
Mhm.
really being pulled to being with friends right now, because spirit keeps showing me that there's like a change of path with love life and connecting with friends. Like, they're going to be some kind of gateway or opening with you and for you. I don't know why that energy feels important to be around them for that, but I'm feeling a very strong, like, kind of nagging itch of like you needing to be around them. Um, because when I'm asking specifically about what's coming up in the love life, they're showing me that they're trying to pull you, and their energy is going to be able to be very supportive. Because if you are in that sort of limbo state, I don't know why I keep doing this, like my hands are in the air, like I can't do much action, they're going to be able to kind of guide and maneuver a little bit, so that you kind of show up in some way. I don't know why that feels important, but it's like the presentation of it feels really important, and them having your back, it just feels like they're going to be very supportive during this time. So really try to make yourself go to those weird things that seem like they're superficial, right? Go to those things that you're like, I've never done that because that just seems like lame energy and lame people I don't want to deal with. But right now I'm telling you, oh, you weren't here in the beginning of the show. We've got Jupiter and Pisces. There's lots of action. There's lots of stuff coming out with people. There's lots of vulnerabilities happening. You're seeing different sides of people right now. So being out in these realms, especially for you being in Pisces, is going to be absolutely paramount and key, because you're going to be seen in a whole different light. This is the time. Yeah, this is absolutely the time. So get out there and kind of, I don't know, I hate to say play the game, but I'm going to actually say that you're not going to be the game. It's like you're beyond the game, but you're just putting yourself out there because the timing is right. The right moon is out, or the right planets are aligned. I don't know how you even want to say it, but it's just trust me. Just be out there right now. You're being received very well right now.
So we have Kalal. I can't remember my saying.
Hello.
Kalal. And I think he just wanted a general reading from his guides.
I believe so.
Okay.
Akanksha. We have closed our reading list for today.
Yeah.
But if you do want to come back and join us next week, please be sure to subscribe. And yeah, we would love to read for you next time.
Okay, so here's the interesting thing. So, Chloe, what I got for you right away. I don't know exactly what's going on, so you're going to have to, again, maybe confirm for me. I always ask this of people just to make sure I'm on the right, energy path here. But it's interesting because I literally have spirit above you. It's almost as though spirit is. Okay, here's my question for you. Have you been receiving more insight, or have you been diving deeper into maybe perhaps your spiritual side, or have things been kind of just happening randomly to you? I don't know exactly how to explain that, but what I want to say towards that is when I see you, I see spirit literally like spirits, not spirit, spirits flying around your head. Almost as though this could be ancestral. It could be your spirit guides. It just feels as though there are a lot of spirits around you at this moment. Like I've been getting that for the last 5 minutes, 10 minutes or so, Chloe. I do feel a fear from you in regards to that, or if there's like an uncomfortable maybe feeling from that in some way. And I keep hearing to embrace it, not be fearful of it. I don't know if something has happened that has made you sort of be aware of. Been following my intuition a lot more lately. Okay, because the energy that's coming through here, I literally keep seeing spiritual activity, and I don't mean like haunting or anything. What I'm talking about, it just feels like spirit has been trying to really get your attention again. Maybe perhaps your intuition. It really feels like you have to listen to those messages that are coming through. Here's the interesting thing. So what I'm hearing from spirit itself is spirit is actually saying, calm down. Calm down. Like you've got so much, like your brain is firing off like electric sparks or something. Like you're overthinking something. You're overthinking over. I don't know if this is action, but it feels like literally your head is electric energy. Spirit is saying you're being guided, you're being shown, like they're trying to show you, you are listening, but it feels as though you have to sit a little bit more. Try to shut down your brain as much as possible. Oh, very goal orientated at the moment. Okay. So because you're over there's some sort of thinking I'm getting, or you're distracted thinking. It could be because it feels as though spirit is like trying to walk beside you or like above you here, like they're trying to show you, but there's a part of you that's like doubt, maybe perhaps a fear. Do you have some sort of negative energy when it comes to messages from spirit? Like, I don't know how to exactly to explain that, but are you in a place of like, do you fear spirits or spirit or even spiritual activity in some way? Because I keep getting like, it's almost as though your energy is resisting it. Okay. It almost,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
your energy is resisting it. Like the energy that I'm being shown for you is like angels, guides, terrestrial, that sort of thing that are trying to get your attention. But you're almost looking at them like dementors from freaking Harry Potter. But I don't, if you've ever seen the Harry, but that's not what they are. And almost feels as though you've got this fear towards it in some manner, and spirit is asking you to release this, because there's, which could be causing the overthinking. So it's almost as though spirit is coming through with the guidance for you, but you're in a place of looking at it, maybe perhaps in you're both right. I had a dream last night of that same thing. There you go. See, because so it just feels as though you have to release that fear. Okay. Release that fear and allow yourself to embrace these beautiful spirits as what they are. They are not the Harry Potter Dementors. They are they are, spirit, like I said, and they're beautiful, and they're, angelic, and all of that, and they're trying to guide you. Just close your mind down and allow your mind to try to stay in the present moment, and those messages are going to come through, and they're going to be guiding you. They're going to be giving you the insight that you need, especially towards your goals. So I hope that helps. That's a message that's coming in, from me to you.
Yeah, this is a really beautiful place, I think, that you're in, Kalel. When I'm connected with your energy, the very first thing that I feel is like there is this sort of initial instinct of like I'm riding in. I can feel this internal strength within yourself where, there are boundaries, there are, certain limitations that you can put on things, but there's a really big part of your internal strength that is wanting to come through with this sort of spiritual awareness. And what I keep being shown is that when it comes up to that void, there's like a bridge where it's surrounded by fog and you don't know if you want to fully cross that bridge. And so your energy just naturally says, you know what, I'm just going to go back home because it's comfortable there. That's definitely the energy I was picking up, like Kathy was saying as well. There is that certain resistance. And I do feel it is because of the unknown. But what I keep being shown is that there is quite literally a light shine down upon this right now, as if there, you might not, that fog and that haze may still be there, but there's a brightness to it. And really, that is such a positive way of entering into this sort of realm and understanding yourself with those higher connections. If it were dark, if it were scary, if it were malicious, if it were something else, that would be a whole different story. And you would be able to very clearly feel that difference. There are people who are haunted by night terrors, ghosts, demon entities, whatever's, and it's very clear. But when you keep your energy at a high rate, and I don't even think you really have to focus on that much, because I can feel your natural internal strength is like a self-regulating thing that you don't really have to worry about yourself becoming too vulnerable, because you're kind of already in a good spot no matter what you do. You'd have to really actively start going against yourself and other people and rooting badly for other people and trying to take away from them to even lower your energy down to be in negative entities spirits having around you. So I really would not worry about that. What's interesting is that spirit keeps showing me that the approach to take is to allow yourself to dive into the uncertainty and to become distant with what you're familiar with. Because they literally will have your back and they will catch you if you ever feel like you're like falling. Like they're literally going to guide you and be with you. All you have to do is take that first step. You have to invite it, you have to open it up, because they're not going to force themselves in. A negative entity would try to force themselves in, but something of a positive nature, it does have to be invited. You have to allow that space. Like I said just a few minutes ago about how I enter into the realm, being an earth sign myself, you Capricorn, me Taurus, I do have to take those active steps, right? I do have to like bring it into reality in some way that, okay, I'm taking space, I'm making it right here, and I'm doing this mentally, etc. But I sit and I take that space. My body sits in a certain position, and I sit that way so it knows, okay, I'm activating this, I'm in control of this, and I'm allowing myself to be here. I think that's a big thing, a lot for especially a lot of earth signs who are do have an affinity towards higher realms, which you naturally do. I see literally that exact vision that Kathy is talking about. I literally, as soon as she said it, I'm just chuckling to myself because I'm like, yep, I literally can see that. And it's so interesting. It gives me such a celestial type background um, behind you. And there are these like, it almost looks like electrons moving around the head as if like a halo kind of energy. So they're pulling, they're pulling to get your attention, to say, hey, we are here and we're here if you're ready to open up. But you have to really actualize the step. You have to allow it permission to happen. And honestly, it's going to be such a great way for you to just set dedicated space. I'll just tell you, what I do. For me, it's, I've been doing it for such a long time. So what I'll do is I'll sit and I will either cross my legs or sit, with my feet on the floor. But either way, I kind of have my hands, palms facing up. And I'll sit there and I'll hold it for a moment, and I'll grow my roots from root chakra down into the middle of the earth. And then I breathe up all the energy into the earth, into my body. And then I allow the trunks to grow out of the top of my head and branches to extend out into like outer space in the atmosphere. And I give myself the space. I say my own little rituals about being connected, opening, channeling, etc., being connected above and below. And that's how I really open myself up. And I do it every single time I do readings, every single time. That's how I give myself that dedicated space. So honestly, I think it's going to be good for you to do it as well. I think that's why we've seen a lot of people who create altars, right? Like those altar spaces where they, like, I'm going to do magic here in this specific space. And, I have it set up how I need to. I think you'll do well to have physical manifestations of what you're doing in an intangible way, because you are going to have to be attached to reality. And honestly, that's such a great way to interact with this realm, because you have a stronger ability to bring it down into earth, into reality. So I think you're really in for a good interaction if you want it. The choice will always be up to you. You're not going to be forced into it, but just know, Kathy and I think the point here is that we're picking up on the fact that you have some very strong inherent skills and abilities that do want your attention. It's up to you what you want to do with them. But it feels like you're kind of being called at this time right now. And you're about to go through a solar return too. I'm very curious about the rest of your chart to see if there are other psychic aspects in there, but we can do that at a different time.
So before we into the lottery list, I did have now this isn't really particular reading. It's just that astrology a little bit more than I do, quite a lot actually. And a friend of mine was asking that they've been feeling a lot of energy lately, and is this because their sign is Leo, I believe, is Leo and Jupiter. I'm not exactly sure, but
so Jupiter is in Pisces.
Right.
With Leo, let me pull up the chart here. I just have a quick chart on my phone that I can look at the current chart is. So do we have anything in Leo right now? So we actually do not have anything in Leo at all. Nothing in Leo.
I really think it's just a matter of energy on the planet right now.
Where's their moon? Do they know where their moon is?
What the heck did I just do? What's that?
Do they know where their moon is?
I don't know if she's watching at the moment. So,
well, the point is, there is a lot going on. Like Jupiter moving into Pisces is a huge deal. Like it's a very big energy. Think about it. We just had Jupiter in Aquarius, right? And what was emphasized when that happened? We had Jupiter on Pluto. We had Jupiter on Saturn. There were restrictions that we just felt over the past year, 2 years. We had the emphasis. Jupiter emphasizes, it expands and grows. It emphasized that Plutonian energy of like internal invisible enemies and forces or disease. Think about what we did. And then Aquarius is a very strong broadcasting kind of system. With Aquarius, we're always, I think of Aquarians as the astrologers, the map makers, if you will, the ones who see broad over big things and bigger pictures. And we were forced to connect at distance or at broad using technology, which is a very Aquarian thing. So a lot
Right.
of that from Jupiter was being highlighted at that time. And now we're moving into this Pisces energy, which is about lines becoming unblurred, things just coming up to the surface. Finally, things that have been waiting in the background coming full face, right up at your face. So what has been behind you, what has been in the background, is coming right up to the surface. So what you've been throwing in the subconscious and like dumping away, I'll deal with that later. I'll work with this later, whether that's positive or negative. That's coming full-fledged. And so everybody's feeling the shift. So yeah,
Yeah.
there's a big collective shift of something moving forward. 100%. Absolutely. And it depends on their chart. And if they have maybe a Pisces placement somewhere, or if that Jupiter is making some kind of connection to that chart, they might be feeling it even more specifically. For example, if you have
Right.
Jupiter making a connection to Neptune, you're going to feel this in your own unconscious, like in your dreams. You'll be dreaming about like crazy intense things with humanity. You're going to be feeling like you're picking up on other people's worries and issues or dreams or what have you. It depends on the full chart, but yeah, we're all collectively feeling this shift 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny, actually, I had a dream the other day that I was driving my car. I was in a shopping mall or something. And all of like in front of me, there was like a sinkhole in the mall parking lot. And I was like, so I woke, but of course I was all like, I said, I was like, did they have a barrier up? Did that hole disappear? I was all worried that, are they going to charge me are they going to pay my car? Because my car is like, it's kind of destroyed now. And they had to rescue me from this. And I was all like upset in my dream. So I had to go online and look it up. Right. And I was all in this, panic mode because I was like, no more this year. I'm good. Like, it actually turned out to be that is the something along the like basically a spiritual uplifting. Like it was basically like this was good. I was actually ascending. It was an ascension, elevation, ascending type of thing. Yeah, and so it was kind of like the sinkhole to like leaving things behind, like getting rid of all of that and moving forward. So I was like, okay, yeah.
Cool with that.
Yeah, it was good. So it was kind of funny though. But let's close it out with
With the
lottery.
lottery. All
Yay!
right. Let me pull
And
up the
I just want to
random
say
number
hi to Brian on
generator.
Facebook. We are done for the readings for the night, but we do ask people to go over to Oracle Intuitions on YouTube. All the information is at the bottom of the screen. It's on a rolling banner here going through, rolling or ticker banner, whatever the heck you want to call it. Go take a look there. And, once you're a subscriber, then you can, start your things. So, all right, let's get going.
All right. So we've got numbers 1 through 4, even though I don't know if Christy is here anymore, but I'll just throw that number in there anyways, just to see. Okay, drum roll, please. Number 2, numero dos. Number 2 is Melody.
Yay! Okay, cool.
All right,
Cool.
Melody, congratulations.
Congratulations. What was Melody's
And so
question?
Melody says, I am a Gemini and I'd love to have a general for the month of January, please and thank you. So what is coming up for Melody in January?
Okay, so Melody, first thing I actually feel, I don't know if you already have something planned for like some sort of, there's a financial turnover that I feel up to you, meaning, okay, I'm going to ask you to do this for me, Melody, because you're usually here every week. I keep hearing about the 15th of January. Now, remember, timelines can change, something along that line. But around that time, I keep feeling there's some sort of financial change to the better coming towards you. Now, remember, this could be finding $1 on the middle of the street. Like, I don't know what it is, but it feels like something is happening here. I'm also getting here. I keep getting shown a path. Something about making a or B. That's what I keep. You know what? It's almost like, you ever see the TV show, like, Let's Make a Deal? Like, do you want door number 1 or door number 2? I don't know if that makes any sense whatsoever. But you might have to choose between a door. Either one is going to be fine, but it's going to be important to follow your heart for this. What else is coming through? I'm just looking into your energy. Did that make sense to you about the money though, Melody? I don't know if that makes any sense. Like, I don't know if you're expecting money or if something is coming through, a raise or a job, or I don't know what it is, but I do feel like some sort of financial something is, it feels like something is coming through. I'm also hearing, okay, you might have to explain what this word is to me, because I'm not exactly sure what it is. Brandon, you might have to explain. What does discernment mean? Because I feel like
To discern, to separate importance levels, to understand when something is valuable or more valuable than the other, and what level of importance it kind of is.
okay, because I keep hearing this word coming through, and so as Brandon's describing it, it's like, choose what is important. Oh, okay. Oh, explaining it to me. Don't focus on the things that don't matter. I hope that makes sense. If it's not anything that, it just feels like there is, I don't want to say drama, like focusing it on drama. It just feels like if it doesn't belong to you, let go of it. That I feel like this is going to be really important. Some sort of, when I'm seeing these paths, I'm actually getting shown like a set of stairs. Like there's an energy of elevating or ascending up or climbing the stairs up. But it's going to be important for you to choose what you're taking with you as you're elevating towards what it is. I don't know if this has to do with relationships, if this has to do with job or career, but it just feels very important because it almost kind of sets, to some degree, the next few months ahead of you. And either way, really positive things are coming your way. It's going to be your choice how fast they come to you. You're dragging old baggage behind you with things that don't matter. It could take its time. It's not going to take its time. It's not going to take years, but it just feels like it's not going to go as fast as you would like it to go if you're focusing on the things that don't matter. I hope that makes sense, but that's what I keep getting coming in.
So, Melody, I'm actually feeling a couple things here. The first thing I'm focused on is just your energy in January. I am feeling actually quite a bit of emotion coming up. Nothing that feels crazy uncontrollable or anything. But what I keep seeing is emotional fluctuation, and even an emotion that may feel like a little uncomfortable to you, where you're like, ugh, was that me? Oh gosh, like why did that come out of me? That
Which
is
is why I
really
keep
weird.
feeling let go of the things that don't belong to you.
Hmm.
If it's not yours,
Absolutely.
let it be. Yeah.
Absolutely, because what I'm shown then afterwards is that it comes to a realization of like, no, 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 I'm striving for emotional harmony. And so what I keep being shown is when that is focused on, when the emotion is felt, you're like, no, that doesn't feel authentic to me. So like Kathy is saying, I'm going to let that go. And now you're focused on this emotional harmony. What spirit shows me is that it literally starts to pull you on this like different or next path that is all aligned with harmony just by simply being aware of, acknowledging, and seeing the emotions. It's like, it's not a detachment, but it's more of like an aerial or objective perspective that you can see it, where you're using emotional intelligence as well as conscious awareness all in your favor in observation. And you're like, okay, cool. I felt that. It's not who I am. It just flowed through me. And now I know what I'm aligning myself towards. So the energy definitely feels good. It feels like, it kind of goes through at this like little level and maybe a little down dip, and then all of a sudden it really peaks and it kind of levels out here and allows a more harmonious sort of emotional energy in that state. What I next keep seeing is a major theme though of like, it feels like friendships have really been either taken away from you or not seen in a long time, or like things have been almost buried. Maybe there's like a bunch of friendships or a specific friendship that hasn't been seeing lights, hasn't been seeing your attention, hasn't been able to be around a lot. And I do keep feeling a resurgence of this. I am feeling a lot of like needing to be around an abundance of people and feeling this socialness and feeling like, okay, I'm enlivened by other people. Like, this feels really exciting. I've missed being around others. I've missed having this, feeling this sensation. So this is going to feel like a major thing. I feel you reconnecting, and spirit keeps showing me feeling in a sense of abundance, and you're allowing yourself to ride into it at this time. It feels very supportive. It feels exciting. It feels fun. And maybe this is where some of this emotional awareness comes from as well, where you've had that clarity and then all of a sudden you get to see the friend or however it is. So I think, again, you're just going to see that as a major theme. Like, I think if you were to look back on January 2022, you're going to be like, oh, that's that month, that so-and-so and I reconnected and, this happened. Other thing I keep being shown is value. You need to make sure you tell the people that you have a bond with what they do mean to you. I keep feeling people as it's almost as if like there's a frustration that you're hanging on to and it's sort of eaten away at you. And I don't know if you're fully aware or not of that. Spirit isn't showing me, but they are kind of showing me it's the sensation of like something under the skin and that has to kind of come out and be released in that way. And they're just showing me that and honestly, in January and also the rest and a huge chunk of next year, it's really going to be centered on the bonds that you hold with people and really showing them. I just keep feeling like people have misinterpreted you or misunderstood you in some way. And you're like, no, that's not what I was thinking at all. Like, I'm sorry you thought that in my actions or lack thereof, but like, that's literally the complete opposite of what I was thinking or feeling. And so this is really a time of like honoring and solidifying those bonds and feeling as if, okay, I'm getting them back on track. I'm getting them into that right space. So it's really going to be a major theme, I think, for a huge chunk of next year for you as well. Not only coming up in January, but the huge chunk of 2022 is going to be the bonds and that connection with other people. It's just going to surface a lot, and it feels positive. It feels productive, and I feel I can see you after a couple months. I see this vision of you, just like, okay, finally things feel like they're in this right space where I have this healthy balance in myself of like connecting, but also honoring myself and being where I need to. Oh, so you've been in hermit mode. Okay, that makes sense. I don't think they're mad, but I think there's frustration. Yeah, definitely frustration, which feels different than anger for sure. Because I mean, there's a sense of understanding, right? This year from hell, these past 2 years from hell, has been like, well, I got to keep myself safe, so I might as well just stay home, right?
Yeah.
Or keep others safe, so let me guilt other people into staying at home, so everybody else is safe. Either way. There's a general sense of understanding, so I don't think it's taken personally, but it's just a frustration that was out of a lot of people's hands. So I wouldn't take it super personal, but just that I think the point is to exercise that understanding and showing them that the bond is valuable. I think that's going to be the major point. And however you do so, however it feels authentic to you, like we were talking about love languages, if it's gifts, if it's acts of service, if it's words of affirmation, if it's physical touch, whatever it is that you're comfortable with, extend that love language out there for sure. Because that's going to be a big theme for next month. Yeah. Melody loves when we sing, so I like to. It just came out naturally. I forgot, and it just happened.
Guys, thank you so much for watching. Remember, if you want to contact Brandon, you can do so at thedreamteacher.com. If you would like a reading with me, you can contact me at oracleintuitions.com or through Facebook and Instagram at Oracle Intuitions. You know what, guys? This has been it's been a year. And you know what? We are so grateful to have you guys on this journey with us throughout this year. So
absolutely,
many blessings to all of you. We wish you an amazing night. We wish you an amazing year, upcoming year. Stay with us, please, because we're hoping 2022 is going to be amazing, and we want you guys on this journey with us. So thank you so much to everybody.
Yes, happy
Take
New
care
Year.
and happy New Year.